Please don't leave. Please don't leave me. Please don't go. Yeah. Cause I done fell off again. My bad decisions got me in a place of distraught again. Look in the mirror, I don't look the same. I got somewhere in my thoughts again. Try to dress it up, make it look pretty. Silently crying so no one can hear me. And I can't come to the phone. Just please leave me alone. Really, I'm scared. Don't wanna tell you I'm living in sin. The Most High forgave me in my sin. Don't wanna tell you I did it again. Nah, I just need to repent. I know, get up, try it again. Righteous, Abba, please help me fight this. Whatever you do, don't take your spirit. Whatever you do, don't take your love. You can take anything from me, but I need you.
Yeah. Father in heaven, I'm having a crisis. You know how heavy this life gets. Fight the flesh with a tight fist, but I'm getting tired and I might slip. Might fall, but I don't trip, cause you're in control of my soul. So if any day I'm feeling hot or cold, I know you're controlling them both. This here righteous man falls 7 times while I'm on fall number 88. I would've died in the hands of man, but it's all praise. I would give me grace. Father, free me from my willing ways. I wanna see the 12 pearly gates. I fought the fight and I kept the faith. Christ took the charge, verse 48.
Whatever you do, don't take your spirit. Whatever you do, don't take your love. You can take anything from me, but I need you.
Yeah, hallelujah. I get it, I'm weak in the flesh and I had to admit it. Had a cheat sheet for the test and I still fell short while bearing your image. Back to the trenches from chemist, you feel a lot different about sin when you in it. I can have plenty of riches like Saul, but what's life if I'm dead in the spirit? Repeating my sin like a parent, forgive me for being a burden. Repent to the great physician, don't cut me off like a surgeon. Save me from the Medes and Persians, keep my gaze from the reach of the virgin. Everyone don't have the privilege of serving. I just wanna hear well done with the verdict. Been a faithful servant.
Father, I sinned.
Yeah.
Again.
Over and over again. Have mercy on me.
Have mercy.
I'm begging you to wash me clean.
Make me new, yeah.
Living without you ain't worth it.
It ain't worth it at
When
all.
I don't feel your presence, I get nervous. Here's my heart, purge it. And I know that I deserve it, but whatever you do, don't take your spirit. Whatever you do, don't take your love. You can take anything from me, but I need you. Whatever you do, don't take your spirit. Whatever you do, don't take your love. You can take anything from me, but I need you. But I need you.
No fame or fortune, no riches untold. I'd rather have Abba than silver and gold. But just give me a savior, my life he can hold. Oh, I'd rather have Abba than silver and gold.
Look how far the Lord brought him. I'm still in awe, cause look at how all them laws taught him. I should be upstate fit and going into the autumn. I needed salvation from self, all praises the Lord saw him. Now I'm moving different like my man Ace. I'm good now cause I can finally understand grace. I'm staying down, it don't matter how long the plan takes. My hands to the plow, it's only right that I landscape. I'm not concerned what a man makes. I'm full speed on this road in this vehicle, got no handbrakes. It's a rocky road and takes skills. I pray Yahweh Shai never let go of the wheel. That's what I call cruise control. Cause without them you can lose control until you lose your soul. Instead of chasing paper, try to make the fold. That's why I'd rather have Yahweh than my way to go. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
No riches untold. I'd rather have Abba than silver and gold. But just give me a savior, my life he can hold. Oh, I'd rather have Abba than silver and gold.
I'd rather have Yahweh Shai. That's the only name I think of when I prophesy. side. Now look at I, when they come to my peers, I put my pride aside and put the most high over things I used to idolize. Money, women, the S550s. Used to drive chef in a frenzy. Look how I was forming all them wicked and weapons that was against me. But most high came and he rinsed me immensely. Now I'm lifting my hands in a grateful way to the hills where my help come from day to day. That's the source of my strength, I'm not ashamed to say. Look how you took my crooked paths and you made them straight. Alpha and Omega, far from a dog. I'm on fire like the summer, far from the fall. If there ever was a problem, you the proper call. I choose Abba because I know this kingdom got the fall. Y'all.
Riches untold. I'd rather have Abba than silver and gold. But just give me a Savior. My life he can hold. I'd rather have Abba than silver.
We send them prayers up, and then the blessings come down. Yeah. Let's get it. I pray material things never blind me. I pray all this fake love will never find me. I pray I don't have fear for any other man. What I pray for the most is that you understand. I pray material things never blind me. I pray all this fake love will never find me. I pray I don't have fear for any other man. And what I pray for the most is that you understand. If you say you're a king, you gotta have the standards. I say that I pray when I don't have the answers. Don't know the way, then prayer has to come in. It's okay to pray and don't ask for nothing. Ready for war, but I pray for peace. Know the book says, don't let your prayers cease. Pray for the strength to pray for enemies. Pray to forget these childhood memories. Put on 2011s, it's the wrong shoes any day. Cowboys team, man, you're gonna lose anyway. Don't come for me, sorry, I don't got a team. Can't be MLK if I never said I got a dream. I pray to Yahweh that he bless you. I pray that you pass, cause life will test you. I pray on the days that things are stressful. Remember, Israel to God is something special. I pray material things never blind me. I pray all this fake love will never find me. I pray I don't have fear for any other man. What I pray for the most is that you understand. I pray material things never blind me. I pray all this fake love will never find me. I pray I don't have fear for any other man. And what I pray for the most is that you understand. Yahweh Shah came so he could Shalom, shalom. What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, the supreme entity of the universe, and I do so in the name of his only begotten Son, Mashiach Yahweh Shai, who the world calls Jesus Christ. It's your brother, Priest Daniela, representing Lines of Israel, Maccabees TV, and as always, I'm joined with the Elder Zahab. I want to give all praise and honor to the Most High for allowing you guys to be here this morning. My apologies for being a little bit late, but I was experiencing technical difficulties. It was almost looking like class wasn't about to happen today because my computer was acting up, but luckily, all praise to the Most High, I was able to work around some corners so that we can do class. Because I think today's class is very, very important. It's very important. It's a very important conversation that's long overdue. All right. So I pray you brothers and sisters are edified by the class, and maybe possibly if you perceive that somebody may need to hear something like this, pass the class along. Make sure you guys like the video. If you're watching on YouTube, you guys on YouTube, make sure you drop a comment. Make sure you still subscribe to the channel. Okay. You guys on Clubhouse, the link is at the top of the room. Today's classes, we're going to be playing a lot of videos. I'm going to be showing you guys a lot of different websites and things of that nature. So today's class is very visual. So my suggestion is, if it's possible, click the link at the top of the room and come over to YouTube so you guys can participate in the class as well. I think you get more out of it watching it than if you just listen. But if you can't watch it, that's fine as well. With that being said, I'm going to pass the floor over to Elder Zahab if he has any opening remarks. And of course, as the course of class goes on, if he has any comments as well, he could chime in. But you got it, Zahab.
Hey, Shalom, priest. Ashar Shabbat to the family. Barakata Yahweh. Shama Mashak Yahushai. The water for joining us on the Shabbat. Right, giving honor and glory to the Lord. Interesting class. Interesting class, priest. So, um, this is timely and this is needed because, um, especially in the season, it's a pagan holiday that passed, right? So-called Father's Day. So I know you're gonna touch on that also. You still got a lot of our people caught up in that, and that plays havoc on brothers, especially brothers' psyche, right, and their mental state. That whole Father's Day BS, man, that's a lot. You know what I'm saying? In addition to everything else, you living in this wicked society, right? You walk around with a bullseye on your back. So it's a lot of things, man. I'm interested to see where you're gonna take it. And as usual, as always in the spirit, we pray brothers and sisters get edified. So with that being said, go ahead, please.
You know what's so funny about what you're saying? Actually, the Father's stuff is not in it because that's a whole separate presentation, although Father's Day did just pass. When it comes to men's mental health, that's a whole conversation within itself, especially if you're going to talk about fathers. I'm talking about, let me be very clear, and I'm pretty sure this is what Elder Zahab was talking about also. We're not talking about deadbeats. We're not talking about any man that's a deadbeat. We're talking about fathers, meaning men that actively participate in the children's life or desire to actively participate in the children's life, and the court system and sometimes the other co-parent presents obstacles for them. That's a whole class by itself. So I didn't include it because we'd be sitting here for 5 hours. So that part is not in it, but that's a very good point that Elder Zahab made, and that definitely will be a class that will be done in the future. Because every day, as Israelites in subjection under another nation, not in our land, that affects all of our mental health every day. It's a battle for all of us every single day. The only reason why I'm talking about men's mental health today, number one, is because we're coming to the end of June. And for those that don't know, June is Men's Mental Health Month, right? So since we're in the month, we might as well talk about it. Number two, men generally keep their mental health status, how they feel, to themselves. They don't talk about it, right? That's a problem. That's a huge problem that a lot of men have, and that's a problem that we as men have to overcome. It's very important that we overcome that, right? So I want to talk about that as well. And lastly, and most important, that mental health crisis that we talk about, when we think about it, we think that we're just talking about people in the world. I'm going to tell y'all something. The reason why you see a lot of dysfunction in the Israelite community is because there's a mental health crisis in this community too. We're not divorced. We're not exempt from that. A lot of people are coming into this truth from different walks of life. Many of us have had different experiences. And in many cases, those experiences were really negative, and we carry that traumatic experience into the truth, and it starts to affect other people. What you guys are watching going on right now, for instance, with the brother Deacon has problems. Remember, I used to counsel, so I know. The brother has problems, unresolved problems from his childhood. These things have been told to me. And what happens is it comes into the community, and it's projected on the community, and it reflects bad on us all. Because we don't talk about it. We as men want to act like it doesn't exist. Well, today it exists. Today we're going to talk about it. It's going to be uncomfortable, but that's okay. Some conversations are meant to be uncomfortable, and I'm fine with that. So with that being said, let me go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to get started. I don't believe I have to take the banner down today. I think that I created the PowerPoint in a way where the banner will not restrict your view. All right. Okay. So as you guys can see, the title of the class is called The Men's. You know what? From looking at the way it is on my screen, it probably is obstructing your view. Let me just take it off just so you guys can. I want to make sure you guys are able to see everything. So let me just go ahead and take that off. There we go. Okay. So As you guys could see from the thumbnail, today's class is called the men's mental health crisis, and I added as an addendum, and the Israelite community, because a lot of times when we speak about things, we like to act as though the things that are affecting our people in the world are not also affecting us in this community. I'm talking about everything. I'm talking about in the world, in couples, there's domestic violence both ways. Women are violent and men are violent, right? When it comes to SA, sexual assault, that happens in this community too. It definitely happens in the world, right? When it comes to people dealing with underage children, that happens in the world, it happens in this community too. And so if our community is suffering from a mental health crisis, guess what? Our community is too, just nobody talks about it. All right? Okay. I want to start off with the book of Psalms, chapter 31, verse 15. It says, "My times are in thy hand." Now, this is very important because this is going to take us to the place that I want to go first. My times are in thy hand. You brothers and sisters understand what that means? That means that there is no reason why any man, woman too, but we're talking about men today, any man should be entertaining thoughts of taking your own life, because your life does not belong to you. David said, "My times are in thine hand." The Most High decides when you are born, and the Most High decides when is the last day you take your last breath. That's the way it's supposed to go. And it doesn't matter what you go through. That's why the scriptures tell us that we get our patience and comfort from the scriptures. And in the scriptures, you can always look at the story of Job. It's the best example of somebody who lost everything. Every conceivable problem that you could think of that someone could have, he had that. Right down to the point where it was so bad, his wife said, "Why don't you just curse God and die?" That's what his wife said to him, right? So he experienced the lows of the lows. He had the highs of the highs at first. He was rich, then he lost everything. And the last thing he had was his woman, and even she was like, "Kill yourself, pretty much kill yourself. Or say something so God will kill you." He experienced the low of the lows. And then it did another 180, it went back 360, and he experienced the highs of the highs again and never killed himself. Because your time is in the Most High's hands, not your own. "Deliver me from the hand of mine enemies and from them that persecute me." So when you come upon hard times as an individual, that's what you're supposed to pray for. You're supposed to appeal to the Most High. That's what the Most High is for. You get comfort in the scriptures. You gain perspective from the scriptures. You can look and see what your forefathers went through, but ultimately you have to reach out to the Most High, right? Let's look at Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 7. It says, "Then shall the dust return unto the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto God who gave it." The Most High gave you spirit. The Most High gave you life. Therefore, it's not yours to take. Let's go and let's watch this video real quick.
You know, a lot of people are still trying to die for themselves, like Christ haven't already did it. A lot of people don't rely on the Savior as they should. They try to take all the weight of the world and put it on themselves and try to solve their issues, try to solve their problems their own way. You know, the Bible is given to us, and the Word of God is given to us for us to put that to use.
It's for your comfort. That's the idea. That's why it was given. It's not supposed to be just a decorative book on your mantle, your bookshelf. You're supposed to use it, read it, and apply it to your life, especially when you're going through the lows and the lows. Let's continue.
Christ died for us, so we wouldn't have to do certain things. So we could rely on him and come to him for certain things. Now, I'm not saying that you just throw everything at God like you're not supposed to do your part, but don't overdo your part. You know, God plays a part with us meeting him halfway. In order to be met halfway, it takes two people.
It takes two people, right? You don't have to take everything upon you. The Bible says, "Cast your cares upon him." That's what we're supposed to do. Let's move on. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 19. It says, "What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, which is in you, which ye have of God, and ye are not your own. You can't take what you don't own. You're not supposed to take what you don't own. So I had this brother right here. This brother said he was going through it, and he entertained the thought of taking his own life. And we're going somewhere with this. We're going somewhere with this. Just stay with me. So let's listen to a little bit of the video and see what he has to say.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My heart's been heavy on telling my story on the things that I've been through and the things that I've done. And this is a story about when I almost took my life. A lot of things transpired when I was young. I was reckless. I was doing drugs. I was doing a whole lot of things I had no business doing. And the story is that God saved me from all of that. God took me away from my pain. God took away my will to want to take my life because I knew that there was something more that God had in store for me. The whole point is that God loves you regardless of what you think you're going through. God loves you. He's never gave up on you. He never will give up on you. So let's get into it.
So really quick, because it's a long video and I have a lot of videos to play. That was the main crux of what I wanted to talk about. A lot of times when people take their lives, it's because they give up on themselves. And what the brother said is that the Most High never gives up on none of us. But sometimes we think because we're going through certain trials and tribulations in our life, there are certain obstacles in our way, we look at it as though the Most High gave up on us. And again, that's why we have the scriptures to appeal to understand, no, certain obstacles are in your way to try your faith. Everything that we go through is a refinement process so that we can become proverbially, metaphorically pure gold, like the scriptures say, in the end. Pure. But in order for gold to be pure, you have to get out all the infirmities. How do you do that? With fire. So in a metaphoric way, when these obstacles and challenges, come in our life, many brothers and sisters don't know how to deal with it. And as men, a lot of times what we do as men is we just bottle it up until it explodes in one of three ways. Either you think about killing yourself, right? Or if you don't kill yourself, you harm yourself, or you harm somebody else. That's how it manifests itself, because you spend years upon years just bottling stuff up. And this is a problem amongst men, and it's a very, very major problem in our community as so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American men. It's the worst with us, and I'm going to show you guys that. Let's go to the next video.
Hey.
Let's read Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. It says, "See now that I, even I, am He, and there is no God with me. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand." So the Most High kills and the Most High makes alive. That's His choice, His judgment. The Most High decides the number of your days, not you. Now, I said everything I said up until this point because I'm not sure if everybody that's listening is aware. And if you're not aware, you're going to be aware now. The jokes used to be on Esau. The jokes used to be about Esau. Now, brothers, I'm talking to you brothers, the joke is on us. Did you know that the number one people that kill themselves on a daily basis is Black men? Did y'all know that? That was something that we used to laugh at white people about. Yeah, y'all kill yourselves. When you go through struggles, when you go through hardships, and you can't see your way out of it at the moment, a lot of times white people kill themselves. We used to laugh at them about that, right? During the Great Depression, when the stock market crashed, white people would kill themselves in record numbers. We always wore that as a badge of honor, that we as a people are so resilient, which we are. Don't get it twisted. We are a resilient people. Our history does show that we are a resilient people. But now, in this day and time, right now in 2026, our resilience is not what it once was. Black men have overtaken white men as the number one people that kill themselves every year. Did y'all know that? I never thought I'd live to see the day to see that. Let's play the video.
Or watching the Isaiah Factor Uncensored. Welcome and thank you for joining us for the second half hour of The Factor Uncensored. For decades, suicide in America was viewed largely as a crisis affecting older white men. But new CDC reveals a devastating shift. For the first time on record, young black men are dying by suicide at a higher rate than young white men. In fact, the overall rate has surged more than 50% in just the last decade.
So listen, I'm going to show you guys the stats in a minute. He's slightly off. He said 50. No, there's been a 53% increase in us unaliving ourselves, young black men. 53% rise in the last 10 years. If that's not a mental health crisis, I don't know what is. Let's keep going.
Why is this crisis accelerating? We want to hear from you. Send us a text at 713-581-9914. Joining us now to talk about it in studio, we have licensed professional counselor Abe Turner, returning therapist Rashad Skinner, and author Jonathan Russell. So, Jonathan, we did a half-hour special with you, and you have quite the story, but if you can break it down, sum it up. When you got to your darkest moment, what did you attempt to do?
Well, when it came to that point, I realized that it was absolutely nothing else that I could do for myself, and had led me into a home that was engulfed in flames, and eventually it almost took my life. It landed me in jail for approximately about a month or so, and as a result of that, I ended up having to be on probation for at least 5 years.
And I think you left out an important point for our audience. You set the fire with you in the house.
Yes.
With an attempt to take your life.
Yes, and I did. I came to a very low point in my life to where I just felt like there was nothing else for me.
So that's enough of that video for now. I just want you guys to see that in the video so you guys could see the crisis that we face as men. And there's reasons for it. There's reasons for it. Let's continue.
Or what?
One of the main reasons for it, let's read the scripture. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64 to 67. It says, "And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth, even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And amongst these nations shalt thou find no ease." And we just have to look at the situation in America right now. Under Donald Trump, over the last couple of years, white people are very comfortable being openly racist. Now the newest trend amongst white people, you have Chud the Builder and many others, is to go around major cities and stick a camera in unsuspecting black people's faces that's minding their business and call you a monkey and dare you to do something about it. Right? Or in the case of the young man in Texas, I don't know why all of a sudden his name is slipping me, right? Recently, where you had the judge and the jury, they had a very, very fast trial and found him guilty of killing Austin Metcalf. I forgot what the brother's name is. Y'all forgive me for that.
Carmelo Anthony.
Carmelo Anthony. Come to find out that he was railroaded. The footage comes out after the trial is already over. Now the footage comes out to show exactly what happened, but the dude is already in jail. Right? This is what we're dealing with. Amongst these nations, we shall find black people are being found hung all over the South. All over the South, black people are coming up dead, being hung, and all that. It's like it's an open time for these people to be. They've always been racist, but now is a time where they can openly do it. Right? They're in positions of power. They're the judges. They're the lawyers. They're the bail bondsmen. They're the prison wardens. They're everything. So they could do that. Verse 65, and amongst these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord will give thee a trembling heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. And that's our people right now. Of course, our people are stupid enough to think if a Democrat was in office, it'd be better. It would not be better. It won't be better. It's the same. Verse 66, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life. In the morning thou shalt say, would God it were even. And at even thou shalt say, would God it were morning. For the fear of thine heart, wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thy eyes, which thou shalt see. Now, I want you guys to look at the caption to the video before I play the video. It says, the Black male mental health crisis starts long before adulthood. A lot of times when you see adults, we're talking about men right now, but this goes for women too. And when it's Women's Health, Mental Health Month, we'll do something on that. But a lot of people that you see suffering from mental health issues as adults, it is because of things they witnessed as children that they should have never saw. And they have a level of PTSD. No, they didn't go overseas and fight in a war, but even certain things that takes place in the inner city gives these children a certain level of PTSD that's never addressed. And it follows them into adulthood. And then you could clearly see that somebody's mentally challenged, but they've been that way since they were a child. And it was never addressed by any adults. And then when they became an adult, they're aware of their situation and they don't address it either. And that also seeps over into our community, because then they come into our community with these same mental health challenges and cause chaos over here. Because that's what y'all are seeing. When you see chaos in this community, a lot of these people, if you go back far enough, they have some type of mental health crisis as well. I'm telling you. Let's listen to the video.
The angry Black male that the whole entire world fears is a traumatized little boy that nobody thought to help. Black boys are introduced to mental health battles long before anyone ever notices. When I was 11 or 12 years old, I had already seen unalivings. I've already seen domestic violence. I've already seen just violence in general. More trauma than a child should ever have to process. I was already battling severe anxiety. I was always in defense mode or attack mode because that's what my environment had taught me. So I had to adapt. Survival had became normal. Then I moved. My family was the second Black family in the entire area. I was chased by groups of men.
Now, I want to stop for a second. My bad. I was going to let it play. I want to stop for a second. I need for y'all to listen to this part when he moved. Because we just dealt with one side of why a lot of young Black boys have mental health issues. It's because of things they witnessed. They witnessed domestic violence. They witnessed violence in general. They witnessed unalivings. All of that is traumatic. But then he moved into an area where there was no Black people. And guess what? He faced a whole nother different set of mental challenges. Listen.
Had became normal. Then I moved. My family was the second Black family in the entire area. I was chased by groups of men, not boys. I'm talking like grown ass men. And at this time, I was only 11 to 12 years old, but I was always physically bigger than my age, if that makes sense. Like I looked older than I actually was. But I was only still a child. I learned very early that some people hated me or disliked me before they even knew my name. I was being called the N-word. There were kids who couldn't even hang out with me. And if they did, I could not go in their house. I had to stay in the front yard or on their porch. I remember one time staying at a friend's house and his mom wasn't there. And when she came home, it was like maybe 4 o'clock in the morning, and she realized that I was there, and she made me get up and she made me leave. Like a good majority of black boys, my pain wasn't recognized as pain. My pain was treated with suspensions, detentions, labels, referrals. At one point, I was even put in special education classes. This all happened before anybody even asked, what's really going on with this kid? What is he going through? Let's check on him real quick. All these people saw was our behavior. That's it. Very few, if any, saw the trauma behind it. And that's part of the black male mental health struggle that's still going on to this day. Only about 14.4% of African Americans in the whole country are in mental health. There are mental health professionals.
And that's very important because we're going to get to the conversation of therapy. I don't want to give it away yet, but we only represent 14% of the people that's in that industry, which means the ones of us that do go for therapy, a lot of times we're going for therapy to people that don't even understand us. But let me let him go.
14.4%. This is including African American men and African American women. So what does that mean? It means many black boys grow up trying to explain situations that very few people have experienced or understand.
Right.
Black male trauma, rage, resentment, anxiety, and too often people just judge the reaction without even trying to understand or care as to what has created this. And after going to therapy, it made me.
And what white folks do is they say that you always want to be a victim. Well, sometimes you are a victim. You're a victim of your environment. You didn't ask to be born into an area where there's unalivings happening on a regular basis. There's gang infested. There's drugs everywhere, right? You're watching your mother bring different men into the house and watching the men take advantage of your mother and sometimes be violent. You didn't ask for that. You didn't ask for that. And so she wants what's best. So she moves you to another state where now you're like one of the only black kids there and the white kids. You didn't ask for that. And then you're trying to explain this to a therapist that don't understand that struggle because he doesn't come from your community. This is the crisis. This is the problem. He's summing this up perfectly. Let's let him keep going. He's almost done.
Realize something. I was searching for a solution that I eventually had to become. I've always felt like there's a thin line between being clinically diagnosed with anxiety or depression or any type of mental health struggles and the unique experience of being a African American male trying to navigate through mental health issues. And nobody can tell me any different.
Right. It comes to a point where you as a man, nobody's coming to save you. The world is not going to give you understanding. The world does not owe you understanding. So it is the unique experience of a man to be like, you know what? I got to fix me. I got to do it. Nobody else is going to do it. I got to do it. And that's what he's talking about. So I want to move on because there's a lot to get through, but I think that was very important as we have this conversation about the mental health struggles of our people, specifically the men right now. It starts in childhood. That's where it starts. Let's continue. I want to talk about the Israelite man's burden by the numbers. So if you look at this image carefully, I created it to reflect what he was talking about when his mother moved him to an area where there was not really any other black people, and he was being chased by grown men. Where as a boy, he was thrown out of somebody's house at 4 a.m. in the morning because he was black. Sometimes, your parents move you to a place because they want you to have a better life. I can't blame his mother for doing that. That was her trying to do the best that she could. But everywhere that you turn, there's a different challenge for you as a man. It just is, right? And it's unique, and and most people will never understand it. Just like our sisters have their own unique challenges that as a man we won't understand, men have unique challenges that the sisters won't understand. And the one challenge is when people see black men, they want to kill you. They want to do harm to you just because. Yeah, if they see a sister, there's the colorism thing, there's all types of different things. But a lot of times they don't want to do violence to you, but they want to kill us. This is what it is. You know what I mean? So what I want to do is I want to come out of here and I want to pull up this article, which I had pulled up on my other computer that's not working. So I got to pull it up over here. So y'all bear with me. Let's open up a new window.
Yeah, priest, while you're getting that, man, that's why it's so important, man. We as Israelite men in the truth, we teach our children. You know what I'm saying? Especially boys. I mean, there's nothing we could do for like that sister in that particular instance where the young man already was raised, but we have a choice, we have an opportunity when we teach our children. Real quick, while you're looking that up, I could bring out this one scripture. You probably have it, but this is Sirach 30:3. Ecclesiasticus chapter 30, verse 3, it says, "He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him." So if you teach your children from the young that, hey, listen, man, this world is against us. Why? Because they hated us. They hate us because the Lord chose us above all people, right? If you teach them young, so when they get older, and like what you said, priest, you're teaching, especially these young boys, since this is the topic of discussion, right? You teach them, look, nobody's coming to save you. You understand? You have to connect with like-minded people, same spiritual grounded people who keep the commandments, right? And you'll learn to be self-sufficient. And you learn from an early age. You see what I'm saying? Because if that young man had an Israelite father, and let's say he taught him a little bit, but then for whatever reason, the father wasn't in his life, he would know, okay, I'm in an all-white neighborhood. All right, I know what this is. Let me get ready for them calling me monkey and all type of stuff behind my back, this, that. It's like you're giving them a little bit of a leg up. You see what I'm saying? That's why I say it's very important for us in the truth to drill this down to our children. I know it's hard, man. I'm fighting against the iPad. I'm fighting against social media, the roadblocks. That we know it's hard, but you got to stay on them, brothers and sisters. Stay on them, and when they get older, they'll understand. They might not appreciate it right then and there, but they'll understand. I'll land right there, priest.
So, all praises. Yep, that's great information. So, real quick, before we read the article, I'm going to just land back on what Elder Zahab was talking about. And I always recommend this documentary to y'all. Maybe if some of y'all have looked for it and can't find it for free. I know on one of our Lines of Israel pages, I have uploaded it for free. There's a documentary called Bastards of the Party, right? And it traces the black migration from the South after the Civil War, the black migration from the Southwest, when a lot of black people from the South wound up going west all the way to California. And when they got to California, a lot of those areas where they were living, white people were whooping their behinds and, braces to them, whatever. You get the idea. So the blacks got together and formed what today you guys call Crips and Bloods. They got together for a positive reason. They unified for a positive reason to protect themselves from white folks because they were new to the area. They had lesser numbers, so they unified to protect themselves. And we already know how the story goes. The white folks started killing off all the good leaders or whatever like that, and it degenerated into what we see today. So we're not going to go down that rabbit hole right now. But this is what happens when we move to different areas where we're not necessarily the majority. There's not a lot of us. There's a whole different mental health struggle that we go through because these other people hate us. The Bible tells us Esau has a perpetual hatred against us, and they do. So here we are on this website, and you guys see what the caption of the article is. It says, young black men are now dying by suicide at a historic rate, meaning we're killing ourselves more than white people. That was not a thing even 15 years ago. It's not a thing, but it is now. And this was posted recently, June 15th, 2026. This is a little over a week ago, a week and a half ago. This is not something that's old. This is new. This is happening right now in real time. It says, let me start saying unaliving so that the YouTube don't take this video down if they're not going to take it down already. I've been using the S word. We're not allowed to do that. So it says unaliving in America has long been portrayed as a white, rural, middle-aged problem, and it always was. That was the joke. New data from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, aka the CDC, dismantles that image. We've gotten to a point now, we've devolved so much as a people, as the Israelites, where we've overtaken the white man as to taking our own life. And that's why we started what we started, because you're not supposed to do that. For the first time since the US government began collecting data, young black men are dying by unaliving at a higher rate than young white men. I never thought I'd see the day. Let's scroll down a little bit. We don't have to read it because this is just reiterating what we said. Let's look at this right here, because remember in the video that y'all saw earlier, the guy said there was a 50% spike. I said it was 53. Here it is. It says new figures from the CDC shows in total across genders, black Americans have seen their overall unaliving death rate climb 53% between 2014 and 2024. That's insane. That's insane. More than 10 times faster than Esau, and twice as high as the other tribes, Latinos and Native Americans. Black boys, young men ages 16 to 29 are dying by unaliving at a rate that is higher than white boys and young men, despite the fact that across all groups, white men are nearly twice as likely to die by suicide than black men. So it's the young folks that's taking their lives. It's the young ones. Because there's no hope, especially with social media. There's no hope for these young brothers. There's no jobs for these brothers. There's no careers for these brothers. There's no, when I was coming up, there was always blue collar work. They don't even have, they took all that out of school. There's no summer jobs no more. There's nothing. Social media has brainwashed the women that now every woman wants a man making $100,000 a year. So where do the young brothers that come in that have regular trade jobs that make $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, where do they get a wife? They don't, the way social media is going. So there's no hope for the regular average young man. So they're killing themselves. And this has been socially engineered for generations, and now we're actually seeing it in fruition. It's reached its apex. Suicide rates among young black men now exceed white men. So amongst suicides between 18 to 24-year-olds, Esau is 24.5%. And we have overtaken them. We are 27%. That was not a thing. Let's move on to, I'm just going to show you all the graphs. We ain't got to, between 2014 and 2024, Esau's unaliving rate of young men is up 5%. We're up 53%. Y'all just breathe that in for a second. And you tell me. And then the 10 tribes are also on the rise, more than Esau, because they're getting deported and everything else. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Their countries are being raided. Their presidents are being taken out of their country and brought to America. They're being treated bad too. I mean, Judah, the head tribe, got it the worst. I want you guys to notice. Then the Native Americans are up too. 1, 2, 3 that we say are Israelites are the highest ones that killing themselves. Somebody make it make sense. And the highest rate The highest rates is got men 20 to 24 amongst us. 20 to 24. Notice how it goes down when you get older. But these are the years when men are 20 to, let's call it 30 down. These are the years when men are trying to figure themselves out and find their place in the world. What is my career going to be? You kind of settle into that. How much money am I going to make? So forth and so on. And you realize that you could be working 2 jobs and you still can't pay your bills. You still barely can make ends meet. You can't save no money. Right? And so because you're barely getting by in this society where social media is being pushed, you're not economically attractive to the opposite sex, so you can't find a woman. You don't make enough money. All of this is social engineering on purpose. That's enough of that. Let's come back to the PowerPoint. Now, I want you guys to look at this. I don't feel like it's big enough. So we're going to build it while we fly. We're going to make it even bigger, right? I don't feel like it's big enough. We're going to build it while we fly and make it even bigger so you guys can see it. Praise the Lord. All right, let's go. So I went to AI and I did a state-by-state analysis to see what are the highest rate of unaliving. What states is that? Iowa's number one. The number one state where a lot of our people are unaliving themselves is Iowa. Number 2 is Kansas. Number 3 is Colorado. Shout out to LOI Colorado, Sergeant Mike Island. Shout out to them. Yeah, Colorado is number 3. Nevada is number 4. Arizona is number 5. So I was curious. I asked AI, what's the population percentage of our people in these states? In Iowa, we're pretty much 4% of the population. So the ones of our children that live there are going to these all-white schools, just like the brother in the video. I told you I was going someplace, just like the brother in the video. These kids are going to schools where they don't see nobody that looks like them, or maybe 1 or 2. And just like he was being bullied and chased, so are they. It's not a coincidence that this is the place where the majority of our people are unaliving themselves. Kansas, we're about 5%, maybe almost 6%. Colorado is the worst. We're 3.8% there. It makes sense. Nevada, we're 9%, and Arizona is between 4.6 and 5.3%. There's not many of us in these states. So what that brother described in that video makes sense. When his mama moved him from the hood to the areas where Esau was in control, now these children that are in these areas face a whole different type of mental challenges that they have to deal with. People hate them. People want to kill them. People want to harm them. And nobody understands. Nobody cares to understand. Nobody asks. That's the idea. Okay. This is the book of Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 38, verse 18. It says, "For of heaviness cometh death." So sometimes it's not right. We already established that it's not right. But sometimes people are under so much stress and pressure. They don't know what to do with themselves, so some of them kill themselves. And sometimes they don't kill themselves, but the stress and the pressure that's on them causes some type of health emergency, cardiac arrest, whatever. Comes from stress and heaviness. And the heaviness of the heart breaketh strength. In affliction also sorrow remaineth. And the life of the poor is the curse of the heart. Take no heaviness to heart. That's the part that we have to grasp. Because life is heavy. Life is going to present you challenges and obstacles. You can't take it personal, because you have to understand that people that live before you've been through stuff, There's people right now, as you're going through what you're going through, there's people that's going through worse stuff than you. They have worse challenges than you, and they're not taking their life. So why should you? You can't take it personal. Like people take when challenges come in. I'm talking to the men. When challenges come in your life, men like to act as though you're the only one going through that, and you're not the only one. You're one of 100,000 going through the same stuff. So you can't take it personal. Don't take it to heart. The heart is your mind in the Hebrew. You got to drive it away. But how do you do that with the scriptures? Meditating on the scriptures, praying to the Most High. That's how you do that. And remember the last end. So I'm going to play this video for you real quick.
I ran across this post today that said that young black men now have higher rates than white men for the first time ever. And although it's not a competition, I do have a special place in my heart for black men. So we got to talk about it. Here are the actual statistics if you would like to see them. And these were posted because June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And although some of the girlies take that as a joke, it is so not, because these stats are not funny, especially when we're talking about young people here. I mean, this is 20 to 29. That's not good. I reposted this and I added a comment that said, I love black men to infinity and beyond. Please be kind to yourselves, fellas. And although a lot of people liked it, there's always a hater. Big Beauty Brick decides to ask, so all of them love and care about you? First off, yes, they're very nice to me on my comment section. You should go check it out. But also, black men have been standing with black women since the beginning of time. You can always check the marriage rates, which are still high, or you can check the voting records, which are almost identical. This idea that black men do not love black women is just a lie that you have told yourself because you're single and you're miserable.
I ain't got no commentary for that.
I ran across this.
So let's talk about feelings. Black men, talk about your feelings. Let's listen to the video.
Get you as a man, black man. It's a Black Bill podcast. As a black man, go get you some people that you trust where you can tell your feelings to. Because harboring that shit and keeping that shit in doesn't do nothing but fucking give you fucking ulcers and have your heart fucked up and ready to fucking kill yourself. Okay. If you can't find somebody,
y'all missed it. That was a scripture.
If you don't have a friend,
y'all missed it. Y'all missed it. That was a scripture. What does it say? It says, heaviness of the heart bringeth death. Isn't that what we read? From heaviness cometh death. So he said ulcers and heart problems. He said he don't know scriptures. He's not an Israelite. But the Spirit is speaking through him. What he's saying is right. That's in the Bible, literally. Being under stress and allowing yourself to be under that stress and dwelling under that stress and thinking about the stress brings death. That's what it does. Let him cook.
Get you as a man, black man. It's a Black Bill podcast. As a black man, go get you some people that you trust where you can tell your feelings to.
And some of you Israelites need to get somebody too. A lot of you brothers are going through mental health issues as well, which is why you treat your congregation the way you do, which is why some of y'all treat your wives the way you do, which is why some of y'all treat your children the way you do, because you're suffering from mental health crisis. You have nobody to talk to. And you try to be fake strong. You're not fit. You're not strong. So when you have a breakdown, you take it out on your family. Get you some help, man. Get you somebody to talk to. And not somebody that's going to rub your back and tell you you're always right. Get you somebody to talk to that's going to challenge you and tell you no, you're wrong.
Harboring that shit and keeping that shit in doesn't do nothing but fucking give you fucking ulcers and have your heart fucked up and ready to fucking kill yourself. Okay. If you can't find somebody, if you don't have a friend, a close homeboy, a homegirl that you could talk to, hopefully your partner that you sleep with every single night and you give your body and time to, you can have that conversation too. And if not, go pay somebody. Go talk to somebody to let that shit out.
So now what he's talking about is go pay somebody, go get some therapy. But therapy is a slippery slope. Is therapy a good thing? Yes. Should we get therapy? Yes. But that's a slippery slope. We're going to talk about it. It's a slippery slope. Before we do, let's let Iman Shumpert talk for a minute. Let's listen to what he has to say.
When you think of mental health for black men, you talk of therapy. What are your thoughts on it?
Depression.
You think black men?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we
We have feelings, we make mistakes, but we don't know how to correct the mistakes. We try to live with them. And I heard someone say, it's just normal. We try to figure it out and let it pass by.
Straight up.
And it never passed by. It's always with you. You may come out of the depression, but it's going to come right back until you get some therapy.
So the idea is therapy, right? We're going somewhere with this too. So I took some screenshots you guys could see. I ain't going to dwell too much on this, but these are some screenshots from the CDC just to back up what we've been talking about the suicide rates amongst our people. The men's suicide rate is 4 to 5 times higher, and unfortunately now our people are in the front, at the front of that, right? I'm going to skip this about what some of the symptoms of mental health disorders is for the sake of time, because there's a lot to get through. I want to talk about this sister right here, and she came across my TikTok feed. I wasn't looking for her, but this is how the spirit works. She's an actual therapist, and she is in a relationship with a black man. This particular black man that she's in a relationship with, this is no knock to the sisters. I would hope nobody's going to take nothing I say personal today, because our circumstances of growing up is not our creation. And even as adults, some things are out of our control. We don't create our situations. They kind of just come. We have to deal with it as we have to deal with it, right? So it should be nothing that's personal to nobody. She's an actual therapist. Now, I don't know how I feel about this, but being a therapist, you know what I'm saying, she's in a relationship with somebody, so she's kind of studying him too. Now, that's not bad. Not bad.
Yeah.
I ain't saying that.
Yeah, but hold on. That's crazy though, because if my wife is a therapist, bro, if your wife was a therapist, brother, it would cause some type of issue because everything you say is being analyzed. But this is good though. This is good though, because I'm assuming she's gonna care about what black men are going through.
She does.
You know what I'm saying? All right, go ahead.
So I put her, you see the arrow right here. I put her so you guys, if y'all on TikTok, y'all can go listen to her, because I'm just gonna say it, and I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. The women are on her neck because they don't like what she's talking about. They don't like what she's talking about. It's because they're emotional and they don't want to deal with it. Her boyfriend was raised with no father, so he was only raised by his mother. So she kind of studies him and talks to him. And she kind of, after she's been talking to him and been with him for a couple of years, she made videos on TikTok. That's what you guys see. I took a screenshot of, explaining the unexplainable. What is it like as a man to grow up with no father? Not that your mother doesn't love you. Not that your mother doesn't do the best that she can, because she did. But some of the obstacles, some of the traumas of just not having a strong male presence around as a man when you grow up. She's had many conversations with her man about it. And she felt so strongly about it as a therapist, because she probably talks to other men in her practice. She came to TikTok and made a video about it. The first thing she says, you guys see the caption? Regular therapy was not created for black men. Because the pathology of therapy, when you go to school to become a therapist, that whole pathology, the whole system was created for therapy for Esau, not us. Not us. You're supposed to take what you learned in school, and you're supposed to take it and craft it to our people. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what she does. But if you just go to a regular therapist that's not crafting their therapy for our people and our unique challenges and struggles, it's not going to help. And there are unique struggles and challenges for boys that were raised with no father. As a boy that lost my father when I was 12 years old, I tell this to people all the time. I never, because I love my mother, I never articulated to her what I was going through. I was sparing her. I loved her enough to spare her from that. Because I watched her and I knew she was doing what she could. My father wasn't a deadbeat. I don't hide. My father was killed when I was 12 years old. My father was killed when I was 12 years old. I'll leave it at that. Those that know. So it wasn't a situation that she put me in. It's just the circumstance. And so I went through a lot of unique challenges as a boy whose mother was doing everything she could. I want y'all to listen to what I'm saying. My mother did everything she could do and everything she was supposed to do, but I still felt the way. I just never told her. So it's almost like I'm having a therapy session with y'all now. That's what she does. She's in a relationship with a man that's been through what I've been through. And she came to TikTok as a woman, because if I go on TikTok as a man and try to explain this, the women are going to eat me up. So she thought as a woman, she could go to TikTok and explain the mental health challenges of a boy that doesn't have a father, especially in the teen years, what that is. And the women came to destroy her. So I'm kind of, prolonging it. If y'all want to go follow her on TikTok, she's doing great work. She's doing great work. Go follow her. Her name is Amari the Therapist. Okay, let's move on. So I took a screenshot of the video she specifically did. So let's go back for a second. This is a different video. It says therapy was not made for Black men. So she's explaining that conventional therapy was not made for our people. Any therapist that we, as a man, that you go through should be, first of all, one of your own people, and they should be tailoring whatever they learn in school towards our community that has unique challenges. That's one video. The next video, she's explaining that her husband was raised by a single mother. That's not an attack. That's not an attack. You guys see the arrow right there? But the woman in the comments says she feels attacked. Do you understand why I told y'all I didn't tell my mother? I'm not saying she would have reacted like this, but I don't know. Some women just can't take it. You're not a man. You'll never understand. And so I spared my mother for just maybe the fact that she would have felt like this. This woman says she feels attacked. This was not an attack. This woman is with a man that did not have a father. She's observed him. She's talked to him, and she's trying to bring awareness to maybe other women that are raising boys that there's no man around to help you. The women in the comments say they feel attacked. As a freaking 12-year-old boy, I already knew that. So I never told my mother. So it lends credibility to what we talked about earlier, when men bottle stuff up. As a 12-year-old, I had to bottle up what I felt. I could never tell my mother. I had to bottle. I understood as a boy. Some men don't come out on the other end of that good. They don't. Luckily for me, man, I found the truth at 19 years old. If it wasn't for the truth, I would have been a different person, man. But I found the truth at 19 years old, and it helped me. But the struggle between my 12th birthday and my 19th birthday, when I found the truth, that 7 years was hell, man. And I had nobody to talk to about it. So this sister cares. Anyway, let's continue. I don't want to, there's a lot to go through, and I'm kind of prolonging on one slide. So now that we understand that, let's read Sirach chapter 37, verse 8. And by the way, I say all that, bring it back to the Israelite community. The word is what healed me. I never had no therapy and nothing like that. I was always a very strong individual to begin with, like just internally strong for whatever reason. I'm just resilient. I'm always able to come back no matter what I go through. That's just me personally. Everybody's different. But the struggles that I did have when I came into the truth helped me with that. The scriptures helped me with that. I can honestly say the elders that founded all the stuff that we're all in today, having access to them and being amongst them was a big help for me too, because the elders didn't play no games. The elders did not allow me to feel sorry for myself. They were hard on me. They were hard on Brother Lloyd. They didn't allow me to feel sorry for myself. I came in with a sob story about my life, and they didn't care. Just man up, go read the scriptures and be better, whatever. And I had to do that. You know what I'm saying? This is Ecclesiasticus, Sirach chapter 37, verse 8. It says, beware of a counselor. So, as the caption is saying, conventional therapy was not created for the men, our men of today, right? So beware of a counselor and know before what need he hath, for he will counsel for himself, lest he cast a lot upon thee. So a lot of times when you go to conventional therapy, and as we learned earlier, we're only 14% or a little over 14% of therapists. A lot of times the therapy that the few men that will go for therapy receive doesn't even help them because it doesn't even understand or address their real issues. Because the therapy was created by Esau. It's tailor-made for Esau. And even sometimes some of us that are in that field are just using that pathology, which is crazy. So she made a video about it because she cares. Let's let her cook.
I agree. Therapy was not built for Black men. But let me tell you why, because I don't think a lot of people talk about this. Not to be confused with, can Black men benefit from therapy? Absolutely they can. It just was not built for them. Most therapists are trained in a framework that was developed and tested on a very specific population. And then when we apply those same frameworks to Black men, we wonder why they don't work. Most therapists don't realize before a Black man ever sits on their couch and utters a word, Black men have spent their entire life managing how the world sees them. Society tells us that they're dangerous, so he's made himself look smaller in public spaces. Society has said Black men are a threat, so he has learned to monitor people's body language and their facial expressions. Society has said that he's lazy, so he's learned to work twice as hard as his counterparts and never ask for help, because then he's just confirming what they've already thought about him. So he walks into a therapy office and you have a therapist who may or may not have done their cultural competency work. And so they see a man who is guarded, who is resistant, who is avoidant, and now they pathologize it.
Mm-hmm.
No one has ever stopped to ask what happens when he actually lets people see him, when he's vulnerable. Has he ever felt safe? Has the world ever told him that his feelings matter? Cultural competency isn't just knowing that Black people exist. It's knowing that he's carrying the exhaustion of having to walk into a room and prove his humanity to everybody that's around him. He's carrying generations of being told that his pain is not worthy of attention. Now you want him to be vulnerable with a stranger for 15 minutes and they're going to charge you $200 at the end of the session. I absolutely believe that therapy has a cultural competency crisis. I think that we're the problem, and Black men are having to pay the price in their relationships, in their marriages, and their lives, with their mental health. But this is also why representation matters so much, and why it's important to have a therapist that looks like you. Even though I do believe that women do a better job of counseling Black men than men do, for a different reason when it comes to vulnerability. But I just think that it's so important to have somebody.
And I agree with her because you would think sometimes that as a man, another man would understand, but as sometimes there's still this problem amongst us as men that you see another man, you automatically feel like you have to be strong. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good, brother. No. You know, so sometimes it's better for a woman to be sitting there, a trained woman, as she said, somebody that understands and can empathize. The man might be a little bit more open, because if another man is sitting there, he's going to put on a front, which is sad. She's right.
To understand your world and where you come from, because it's not a luxury, it's a necessity. Everybody deserves healing and for them to be understood for everything that they've been carrying. But I see all my Black men out there, and I will do everything in my power in order to help any way that I can.
So we're gonna come back to her after the class is over, and I'm gonna ask y'all to go to TikTok and follow her. I just showed y'all her page. We'll come back to it. Go follow her, because I'm telling y'all, they're at war with her. They're at war with her on TikTok. They hate that she's doing this. So I want y'all to support her. Okay. This is Sirach chapter 30, verse 21. It says, give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thy own counsel. Sometimes we as men, and women do it too as people, but we're talking to the men. As men, you give your mind over to heaviness. I'm big on not doing that. I know every problem in my personal life that exists, but I refuse to always be thinking about it. I put a limit on it. Okay, I'm thinking about it. I give myself a certain amount of time. Now I'm not thinking about it. I'm not giving my mind over to that. It's not going to be better always just worrying and ruminating and thinking, and it's not going to help, because that's what leads to a 53% spike in us unaliving ourselves. You're always worrying about something. Problems is going to come. They come. That's natural. You think about it. You try to figure out how to get out of it, and then you put it down. You put it in God's hands. Whatever you got to do, you do that. Give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thine own counsel. The gladness of the heart is the life of man. Sometimes you got to give yourself over to just enjoying certain things that you enjoy. It doesn't mean that you're not going through stuff, but it's just the balance of things. And joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. We read earlier that when you give your heart over to heaviness, that shortens your days. It's the fastest way to high blood pressure. It's the fastest way to heart attack, whatever, when you give your mind over to heaviness. The opposite of that is being joyful sometimes. Being joyful doesn't mean you ain't going through stuff. It just means that you're going through stuff, but you refuse to just dwell there, because everybody goes through stuff. Verse 23, love thine own soul and comfort thy heart. Part of the comfort that I comfort my heart is that, you know what? And your heart is your mind. I'm going through this, but God got me. I'm still here. Right? Some of y'all know my story. Some of y'all don't. I've been through a bunch of stuff. I used to believe I wouldn't see my 40th birthday, the stuff I've been through. I used to believe that. I didn't believe I would live past 40. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still here. Because I love the Most High and I understand the Most High got my back. It says, love thine own soul and comfort thine own heart. I comfort myself through the scriptures. Remove sorrow far from thee. Some people like to dwell in sorrow. Like, you know, stuff is wrong. You know, you got problems and you just want to stay there. I always encourage everybody that's around me. It's always the same. Those of y'all that surround me, that talk to me a lot. I always encourage you, give yourself a limited amount of time to worry about what's going on and get past it. Put it down. Put it down. For sorrow have killed many. I'm going to read it again. For sorrow have killed many. Why is there 53% spike in unaliving amongst the men? Because sorrow has killed many. Because you didn't understand. They didn't understand how to put it down. You're not putting it away because it's still there, but you understand when to put it down. And there's no profit therein. Let's listen to the video.
I sat in this car trying not to break, trying to breathe, trying to pray, trying to force a smile so I could pretend for a few more minutes that I'm okay. But the truth is, I'm tired. Tired of carrying pain without knowing where to put it. Tired of feeling the weight of everybody's world sitting on my shoulders. Tired of fighting battles in my mind that nobody can see. And what hurts the most is people only notice a man when he stops functioning. Not when he's silently drowning while still showing up every single day. So many men are dying emotionally in silence, crying where nobody can hear them, begging God for strength they don't even know if they still have left. That's what this moment is. Not weakness, not attention, just a man trying his hardest not to give up on himself. And maybe somebody out there needs to hear this too. You are not less of a man because life finally hurt you, brother. You are not weak because your heart got heavy. And you do not have to pretend to be invincible to be worthy of love. Sometimes survival is the victory. Sometimes getting up tomorrow is the miracle. And tonight, that's enough for me. The Lord is near the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. Psalms 34:18. Now listen to me. If you're not following me, go ahead and hit that follow button.
Sometimes survival is the victory itself. Sometimes being able to get up the next day and go back to whatever it is that was crushing you the day before is the victory itself. This is the side of men that a lot of people don't see. And all you sisters, but your husband, you don't see that. because he's not going to show you that, right? Because he has to be the strong one. He has to be the protection, right? He has to be the one that's strong, that leads. But leading is hard, right? It's difficult. Men have emotions too. They just don't show it to the women, because if we show you our emotions and you're emotional already, you're, you know, and that's nothing wrong with your sisters being emotional. That's the way God made you. But if we show you our emotions, you're going to get more emotional now, because the person that's supposed to lead you, that you're looking to get you out of that situation, they're emotional. So men hide it. When really and truly, there's supposed to be somebody that, as a man, you could go to and talk to and be in the state. I don't necessarily always advise for brothers for that to be your wife. I don't think that's always wise. I think more so than anything else, we as men got to get rid of the stigma of, if a brother comes to you and he breaks down, that you look down upon him. No, it's better he does that, because as a man, you can't tell me you don't understand, because you do understand. We're not supermen. We're humans, right? Nevertheless, let's move on.
Hey, priest, also real quick, that's a barrier also for seeking counsel too.
It's
you see what I'm saying?
Yes. That's a big problem in Israel. A lot of men are going through things and they don't. Literally coming to your brothers and talking about your problems is pretty much equivalent to seeking counsel, because you're going to people that you trust. Obviously, if you know, the word counsel is used and sometimes it's misconstrued. Counsel is talking to somebody that's going to tell you something that may or may not align with what you're thinking, but you trust that person, that you know that they have your best interest at heart. That's what counsel is. And every man needs to have one. The Bible says out of 1,000, at least have one counselor. There's supposed to be one person that could come and talk to you and tell you exactly what it is, and you respect it. At least one. If you don't have that, you're not in the spirit. Honestly.
And that's crazy, because the scriptures show us throughout, over and over, time and time again, mighty men. David had a counselor. Moses had a counselor. Moses took counsel from Jethro. I don't know, brother. I don't know, man. It's the bottled up emotion and the hurt. Sometimes it's a barrier for us brothers, man. You know, I had that too. I had that too.
Pride too.
Yes, sir.
Pride, like brothers don't want to. You can't tell me nothing. That's off. The greatest man in the Bible, somebody could tell him something. Hey, brother, that's not good. That's not a good idea. Whatever. That's how it's supposed to be. Let's be real. This is Sirach 9 verses 13 through 15. It says, "This wisdom have I seen also under the sun, and it seemed great unto me. There was a little city, and a few men within it, and there came a great king against it and besieged it, and built great bulwarks against it. Now there was found in it a poor wise man." The guy didn't have no money, wasn't well renowned, and he by his wisdom delivered the city. The poor man that was wise, he delivered the city. Yet no man remembered that same poor man. That man delivered the city, but because he didn't have no status, this goes into the book of James. The book of James says the same thing. The guy with the gay garment, which is the happy garment, the expensive garment, versus the guy that doesn't have the expensive garment, and you treat them differently. This is saying the same thing. Because it was a poor man that delivered the city, people didn't respect it. Let's listen to what the sister has to say.
I had posted this video earlier, but I deleted it because someone said they didn't watch the video because it was just too much wind. And I took that constructive criticism and I deleted the video, and I'm remaking it now. The video went like this. I always tell you guys that I'm a thinker. I think a lot. Since I've been on social media, I talk to guys. I pay attention to a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff come to my mind, and this is one thought that I had. Society really don't care about men. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. They really do not care about the man. They don't really care about the man. I was having this same conversation with another man yesterday, and he was like, "We've been trying to tell y'all that, but y'all didn't want to listen to us." And he's right. I have to agree. 100%. Society really do not care about the man. The man been told to suck it up. You're going to be okay. No, that's not true. Men go through stuff themselves. They need help. They need to cry. They need a shoulder to cry on. Society, I'm sorry, man. I hate to say this. I apologize for society, but society really don't care about y'all. And that's just being real. I'm just being happy.
Thank God for sisters like her, man, that understand, because men understand this clearly. Like, you can't. That's why men don't talk. That's why men bottle stuff up, and then eventually they either kill themselves or they get violent, as y'all are seeing. Because you can't. There's nobody to talk to about this stuff, right? There's not. You as a man just suck it up, and that's it. That's why there's a mental health crisis amongst men, and that's why there's a mental health crisis amongst us, where we're up 53% in unaliving ourselves in 10 years. That clearly shows you the people that are doing that have no outlet for how they're feeling. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9, verse 15. It says, "For the corruptible body presseth down the soul, and the earthly tabernacle weigheth down the mind that museth upon many things." That's what I was talking about earlier. All of us have problems. I tell everybody around me, stop musing on problems all the time. Stop allowing your problems to press you down. We all have them. They're not going away. They're going to be here till Yahushua delivers Israel. Don't let that press you down. Stop always letting your mind wander and wonder about problems and this problem and that problem, whatever. And sometimes you have to give yourself a relief from that, because you're going to make yourself sick. Let's listen to the video.
Call me a pick me. I don't give a fuck. But today is the first day of Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and men's mental health matters all the fucking time. But unfortunately, you know, the government chooses to deem them to have 1 month to celebrate that. So can we have a real conversation for Men's Mental Health Awareness Month? Because I think we've been getting something wrong for a very, very, very long time, especially when it comes to Black men. You know, we constantly tell Black men that they need to communicate. We tell them to open up. We tell them to be vulnerable. We tell them to go to therapy. We tell them to talk about their feelings. And it's like, nobody ever talks about what happens after that, after they do. Because the truth is, a lot of Black men are not afraid to communicate. They're afraid of what happened the last time that they did. You know what I'm saying? That is trauma, but they're afraid of what happened the last time that they did. The last time that they opened up, they were told to man up. The last time that they cried, they were told that they were weak, or that they were a bitch, or they were acting like a bitch, or stop crying. The last time they expressed pain, they were told to get over it. The last time that they admitted that they were struggling, people became uncomfortable. That's weird. And after enough experience like that, silence seems to be safer than honesty. Silence starts to feel safer than transparency. That's why I believe vulnerability without safety is just exposure. And before anybody turns this into a battle between Black men and Black women, that is not what the fuck this is. Because the truth is, we need each other. As a Black woman, I think we need to have an honest conversation with ourselves. If we say that we love Black men, if we say that we want healthier Black families, healthier Black family dynamics, if we say that we want healthy relationships, then we have to ask ourselves a difficult question. Do you know what that question is? If not, I'm going to tell you. Are we creating safe spaces for Black men to be humans? Not to be superheroes, not to be providers, not to be protectors. You know what I'm saying? Not to be problem solvers, but to be human. Why is that so hard? Because sometimes we're so used to seeing Black men be so strong that we forget that they're carrying things too. And it honestly, I don't feel like y'all be forgetting. I feel like y'all just really don't give a fuck and you're selfish as fuck. Black men, they're carrying childhood trauma. They're carrying pressure. They're carrying stress. They're carrying heartbreak. They're carrying depression. They're carrying anxiety. They carry fear. They carry expectations from society, the world, and from the community of the Blacks ourselves. And sometimes instead of asking what's wrong, we criticize. Instead of listening, we judge. And then we don't shut the fuck up to listen anyway. Instead of understanding, we assume they'll figure it out because they're men. Now, let me be clear. This is not me saying Black women are the sole problem, and it isn't me saying that Black men are the sole problem. What I'm saying is that we've spent so much time fighting each other that we have literally forgotten we're supposed to be on the same team. Black men and Black women need each other. We need each other's support. We need each other's understanding. We need each other's compassion. We need each other's protection, because neither side heals by tearing the other down. We heal by learning how to understand each other better. And how do we do that? By listening to understand, not listening to judge or to respond. We heal when Black men feel safe enough to tell the truth. And we heal when Black women feel safe enough to listen without judgment. So for Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, I want to ask a few questions, okay? Black men, what is something you wish Black women understood about your mental health? That's the first one. Second one, what was the moment that taught you to stop talking about your feelings? Number 2. Number 3, and when was the last time somebody asked you how you were doing and actually stayed long enough to hear the answer? And Black women, I ain't leaving y'all out either. I got some questions for y'all too, so stay tuned. Number 1, are we doing enough to make Black men in our lives feel emotionally safe? Like, let's have a real conversation. Not a gender war, not a blame game, a conversation. Because healing starts when somebody finally feels safe enough to tell the truth. But in this day and age, silence is safer than being honest. And honestly, I think it's time that we listened. So tell me in the comments your answers to my questions. If you have any feedback to anything that I said, I would appreciate that. But this is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and I will not tolerate any disrespect on my end of my platform and on my algorithm. I won't tolerate any disrespect to Black men. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. So call me and pick me. I don't give a fuck.
Shout out to her, because she has her page too, just like the other sister is a therapist. Her page is under attack too. Shout out to her. I follow her as well. And she has a positive message. That's what you need, because most of social media, the message is there to tear you down. It is what it is, right? So the small pockets and areas of the people that are speaking positive and trying to speak solutions, you got to support that. This is Psalms 37, verses 23 through 24. It says, the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way. Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for the Lord upholdeth him with his hand. Brothers, we saw the video earlier where the brother was in a car and he was going through a different range of emotions. Falling or breaking down as a man is normal. I know a lot of times that, some of us won't feel like as though it's not, but it's normal. Now, most times a man would prefer to do that when he's by himself. But I'm trying to show brothers that it's normal. When you have your breakdown, whenever you have your breakdown, if it's you sitting in your car and you have your breakdown, as the brother was, or as this brother's going to say, he has his breakdowns when he's in his house by himself, it's normal. You're not weak. You're not a punk. You're not soft. You're human. You're human. It's okay. But as a man, unlike a woman, the women can wallow in their emotions, because that's part of the gift of being a woman. They can kind of ruminate on their emotions. As a man, you're not allowed, you can't do that. Have your breakdown, catch yourself, and get back up. That's what being a man is. The breakdown is not the bad part. If you wallow in it, that's the bad part. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? The breakdown is not the bad part. Even if it comes to tears, it's not the bad part. The bad part is wallowing in that, staying in that. That's where you as a man know. No, you got to get out of that. You got to catch yourself. You got to figure it out. Listen to the video.
And as a man, those 2 to 3 minute breakdowns might just be the thing that's saving your life. Like, no joke. Anytime I feel like I need
So
to
I want to play it again. Those 2 to 3 minute breakdowns might save your life. I mean, it's some that 53% spike were maybe men that just didn't allow themselves room to break down for a minute, to be human for a minute. What the brother is saying is that breakdown that you may have might save your life. You just allow yourself room to break down however you break down. It don't always have to be tears like crying, but just whatever it is, you allow yourself room for that. You don't look at yourself and judge yourself within your own mind that something's wrong with me. No, it's not. Every man feels like that. You allow yourself room, as Israelites too. You have to have the same mindset. It's okay to break down sometimes. It's okay to acknowledge yourself sometimes. This is too much. You give yourself a certain amount of time, but you set a boundary. Okay, I'm going to give myself this amount of time to feel this way, and I'm going to come out of it. Remember David, when he had that child that died, because he did what he did. He wasn't supposed to lay with that woman. He had laid with that woman, and the baby died. He gave himself a short amount of time to mourn, and he gave himself a pocket to mourn. As a man, you need that. And then after he mourned in that pocket, he got out of it. I know exactly why the Most High did what he did to me, because I did wrong. So as a man, if you're going through something, you give yourself time to feel how you feel. It's just being sad. Maybe it might come even in tears. It is what it is by yourself. You ruminate on why this is happening to you. Maybe it's something you did as a man, right? Like David, you understand this is happening to me because the Most High, I was off, whatever it is. Or maybe you weren't off. Just Most High is just trying to refine you. You give yourself that pocket, that place to go through what you're going through, and then you come out of it. That's going to save your life. And it's also going to save the lives of people around you where you may not harm nobody else because you're going through something, because you understand how to mourn and then jump out of it. Anyway, listen, let's come back. Let's play it from the beginning. That saved lives. To try to always make it pretend like you strong all the time is fake. That's not real manhood. You're trying to make it seem like it's manhood. I'm always good. Hey, bro, I'm always good. You're a liar. Real manhood is acknowledging that sometimes as a man, you're not good. What are we talking about?
And as a man, those 2 to 3 minute breakdowns might just be the thing that's saving your life. Like, no joke. Anytime I feel like I need to cry, bro, anytime I feel like I need to just let it out, whatever I'm feeling, bro, I literally go into a private place and I legit just let it all out. And it doesn't last long because, like, niggas got to work. I'm at work right now. Niggas got to make money. You feel what I'm saying? Niggas got to handle our responsibilities as a man. But, bro, don't ever try to, like, handle your responsibilities when there's pressure that needs to be released, essentially. You need to release that shit. Go in the car, go into your bedroom, go into a private place and just let it out. Let it out. Might be 2-3 minutes, then you come back better, you come back stronger. But that shit, I know it has saved my life on multiple occasions.
I don't have no commentary on that. It says exactly what it says. A lot of brothers be trying to pretend like you always strong. Them be the main brothers that be like, I know you're not strong. I'm gonna say it again. You brothers, that every time I ask you, I'm talking to brothers specifically in our camp, specifically. When I ask you, you good? You always like, yeah, bro, I'm good. No, you're not. I've been looking at you like you lying. I know you're lying. That's fake. Because I know you're not always good. Right? Myself as a hobby, we go back and forth. He could, you know what I'm saying? He has sometimes situations, he called me like, priest, I need to talk to you. I'm going through this, whatever. So if the leaders of the camp are not always good, and I call Zahab like this, brother, you know what I'm saying? I'm tired right now. I don't want to deal with this council. I don't want to do this. I told him like, yeah, bro, I'm not interested in that. I'm tired. I don't feel like it, whatever. Like, he knows. I tell him, I'm like, brother, I don't tell y'all that, but I tell him, look, bro, I'm not interested in that. I'm tired. I'm busy. I'm not, whatever. Zahab, the priest, you got to do it. I'm like, I don't feel like doing it. You got to bring me back. You got to do it, whatever, because I'm human. So I could be vulnerable with him and tell him, brother, I'm not in the place where I want to deal with that right now. You see what I'm saying? What I'm trying to show y'all is that there got to be somebody you could talk to and say, hey, bro, I'm not good right now as a man. This whole fake thing that you're always good, I don't trust that. If you try to always convince me you're good, I don't trust you because you're lying. You're not always good. Anyway, let's move on. And there are different ways to cry. Let's talk about that. Sometimes people cry through doing a lot of physical activities. They're not going to shed tears, but they put their tears into just being physical. You go to the gym, you box, you run, you do high rocks, whatever, exhaust yourself. That's your way of crying, like to take your mind off what you're going through. Sometimes people cry through silence and they withdraw. When I'm going through something, I'm going to withdraw myself. That's a form of crying as well. It's not always tears. Sometimes people cry because they're angry and irritable. But on the converse side, sometimes people be crying, they're always laughing. I've seen people like that. Everything is a joke, and I'm looking at you like, I know you're going through it, but you make everything a joke, and I know you're going through it. Y'all know that too. Y'all seen people like that too. They want to make everything a joke, and meanwhile, they're crying out inside. I know it. Sometimes crying is being ultra obsessed with something, being fixated on something. Sometimes people cry through their music. I have songs that I've written, which you guys will hear in the future. It's me crying out about things I've been through. I put my tears into the music. I didn't cry like I wasn't shedding tears, but I talked about stuff I've been through in my songs. And sometimes crying, people do it through poetry, right? It's a bunch of different ways to cry. You don't always have to shed tears. But there's different outlets for you to get out what's inside of you, whatever your way of crying is, whether it's physically crying or doing any of the things that's on this list. As a man, it's encouraged for you to do that. Don't bottle it up. So it comes out later in one form, whether you're violent or you take your own life. Let it out in some way. Find what's the best way for you to let it out and let it out. A lot of people laugh at Tyrese. I've seen the memes where he said, "What more do you want from me?" when he was going through that whole situation with his daughter. And people laughed at that. And as Zahab brought out earlier, that was a whole situation with just a father that wanted to be a father. And he was going through a mental health crisis because the woman he had a child with was using and weaponizing the child against him. Now, that's not in this lesson, but Zahab brought that out earlier. And we laughed at him because Tyrese is one of those brothers that is not afraid to cry in public. He's going to cry in this video right now. He's going to cry. I'm not saying I would do that. I don't think Zahab would do that, but I don't look down on him for crying because his life is played out in front of everybody. People have had everything to say about him. So it is what it is. Play the video.
With a lot of grief. Like I think about, your mother.
Divorce. Both of my sisters died.
You don't look at divorce as grief, but you did. You lose things, You probably lost a lot of friends when you went through your mental health breakdown. Are you really, have you really taken the time to deal with all of that grief? Or do you just try to stay busy to avoid it?
I'm doing the best I can with every 24 hours I get. Every 24 hours I get, I'm doing the best I can. There is no square footage I could ever live in. There is no rims, no jewelry, and no car. There is no net worth. There is no press release. There is no co-star. There is no collaboration in the world that could ever replace my mama. I could ever feel the void of what it's like to wake up and get married and want to be in something for the rest of your life, and it goes away.
You've been holding this
Do
in
you
the whole
understand
interview,
how
though.
much power it is in letting it go? That's the question.
I love
if you didn't want to see how hard it's been to get through. Okay, do you not cry?
Absolutely.
You might not bring it to the radio,
Absolutely.
but this is what being grown is.
So we're just gonna let this. There's no need for me to give commentary on that for what?
Yeah, with a lot of
It is what it is. There's no need for commentary. You know, but unfortunately, we live in an age where people will mock that and think that's funny, which is why men don't communicate. And then when a man it bubbles over and he's violent or he takes his own life. Now we're having a whole nother conversation. This is Mark chapter 7, verses 20 through 23. And he said, that which cometh out of the man that defileth the man. For from within, out of the heart, which is your mind, of men proceedeth evil thoughts, adulteries, fornications, murders, thefts, covetousness. That's the part I want, covetousness. Let's go ahead and let's highlight that. Let's build it while we fly. Covetousness, because that's what Kevin Gates is going to talk about. Comparison is a thief of joy. You look at what somebody else has, and you judge your life based on that, and you're willing to do whatever you have to do to achieve what that other person has that you perceive that you should have. Because you should have it. They shouldn't have it. You should have it. Thefts, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness, an evil eye, blasphemy, pride, foolishness. All of these evil things come from within, from your mind. And social media has magnified this like never before. Let's listen to what he has to say.
It's always about the nigga who have emotion. Mm-hmm. And for those of y'all that don't know what emotion mean, that's like you having your way, you having something going on, you financially well off, so to say. So you have emotion, you got something going on. So I always wanted to look like I was having motion.
Because he wanted to look like he had motion or had some motion because he's watching what people are doing on social media.
Some motion. And there even was a point where it was like, you fake it till you make it.
And a lot of you sisters, not the sisters in the truth, but the women in the world, the reason why they can't find a man because they're judging based on the women that have actually been able to marry a man that makes a lot of money, has a lot of status, right? And now the women that are watching it on social media feel they all need the same thing. So the average man is no longer viable. And you can't find a man that makes $100,000 a year because that's less than 10% of the population. So you try to stay single till you can find it. You can't find that. And now you're bitter and you're angry. It's crazy.
And it was a point where it was like, you know what, man, let's just be clean.
Yeah. Was it tiring?
Exhausting?
Yeah.
The most exhausting part for me was making comparisons. That's what caused my depression. Like
to others or to other things?
To others. Like
his depression, his mental illness came from making comparisons because before he had what he had now, he was looking at what other people had and he was depressed.
Get social media and see how everybody's life going great. Everybody slapping them on their ass and high-fiving them, and they doing shit that ain't even raw for real.
Yeah.
But when I do it, nigga don't say nothing. I'll just wait 3 months later and just do what I did, and everybody be, oh man, that nigga so raw.
Social media, they say comparison is the thief of joy. That's social media. You're looking at what other people are doing, and 9 times out of 10, what they're showing you on social media is not really even how they're living. They're showing you that they're thriving, they're making a lot of money, they're bowling, whatever like that. A lot of times, it's not really true. They're faking it. He even said that at the beginning of the video. You fake it until you make it. It's not even true. And then you have regular, average people that judge their lives based on that. And as a man, you become depressed because you're not bowling the way you're seeing people bowl on social media. You become depressed. And the next thing you know, we have a 53% spike in us unaliving ourselves. This is Proverbs 14:30. It says a sound heart, again, the heart is metaphorically talking about your mind, is the life of the flesh. But envy, comparison, that's what Kevin Gates just talked about, comparison, envy, the rottenness of the bones. When you start comparing your life, your regular average life, which most people have, to people on social media, That destroys you in your mind. It uses bones as a metaphor. It destroys from the inside out. You start ruminating on these things like, how are these people on social media doing so good and I'm just doing average? I'm living check to check. Sometimes I can't even pay my bills. Just as bones rot or decay, and they gradually destroy the skeletal structure that supports the whole body, envy, judging yourself based on what you see on social media as a man, silently eats away at your emotional and spiritual strength. And unfortunately, as a man, you're also looking on social media and you're seeing a lot of our women nowadays that are requiring that you be boiled out of control in an economy, in an economy that's failing. So you start questioning yourself, like, how do I want a wife? How?
That's why I think it's important. They got a terminology, right, priest? You got to touch grass. You got to get off social media, touch grass, because a lot of them people on social media, they lying too. It's a vicious cycle. They lying to you, and you, meaning the gullible ones, who take it in and be like, damn, I wish I was. We all wish we were in a better place, but that's just not how it is, man. The Lord put you where you are for a reason. Don't look at social media and try to keep up with them when they are how many times you see certain influences and certain people get exposed? They live in a fake life, and our people is just a dog chasing his tail, man. It's a vicious cycle, man.
All right. So we're gonna watch this video real quick. Yeah.
All right, so look, it's not being talked about enough right now. The working man is dying in silence, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. We are tired. We are living in a day and age where a man could work 40, 50, 60 hours in a week and still be broke, still struggling to pay the rent, still choosing between gas in the car and food on the table. And yet, this society looks down on the working man like he is not doing enough. He's not grinding hard enough. It's crazy because at one point in time, the working man used to be the backbone of this country. The builders, the laborers, the truckers, the cooks, the janitors, the service workers, etc. The everyday man who keeps society running. But now, we're invisible, we're disposable. We are replaceable. And what makes this whole thing worse is that all of this is starting to make men crack mentally. All this pressure is starting to make men crack mentally because we've been told all of our lives to man up, to be a real man, and a real man provides. And we carry that pressure into every job, every relationship, and every bill that needs to get paid. So my question is, how long can a man be a man when the system is designed to crush him? This economy is inflated to the point of insanity. The cost of living is skyrocketing while our wages are flatlined. Overtime don't cut it, side hustles don't cut it. So essentially, we are chasing a moving target while being blamed for falling behind. And while we're out here working ourselves to the bone, while we are out here working ourselves to the point of burnout, they are telling us just to work harder. But nobody asks how we are holding up mentally. Nobody asks if we are okay. But the truth is, men are out here battling depression, battling anxiety, battling addiction, battling loneliness. But most of the time, we just stay quiet about it. Because when a man speaks up about his pain, the society tells him to suck it up, to be a man. They shame him. They emasculate him. So we shut down and we internalize this struggle. We suffer in silence. That's why men self-unalive.
This is the reason why, for those that don't know, why men die younger than women. Women will tell you when something's wrong. They'll tell you, they articulate it because society makes room for that. The reason is no different. God made us both. Why do men die younger? Because they internalize all this stuff. They don't talk about it. They don't release it. There's no place to release it. That's why men die younger than you. Because after a while, heaviness bringeth death. We read that earlier.
So we shut down and we internalize this struggle. We suffer in silence. That's why men self-unaliving rates are rising. That's why so many men.
We're up 53%. We're up 53%. That's crazy.
are checking out mentally. Men are starting to become more emotionally detached from their jobs, more emotionally detached from their families, and more detached from their own lives. But you won't hear about this on the news. You won't hear about any mental health campaigns for the broke working man.
And so we're not gonna play the whole videos. There's still plenty more to go, but yeah, this it's not even it's an issue to the point where it's not even an issue. Some of y'all did not know that Black men have had a 53% rise in unalivings in the last 10 years because your local news station didn't think it's important. You didn't learn that till today. So that shows you exactly what the priorities is. They don't care. You know what I'm talking about? With that being said, we're going to go on for hour number 3. So if somebody has to go to one of the other rooms on Clubhouse, y'all do that. But I feel like this is so important. We have to continue. So we're going to continue. This is 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 8. It says, "But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he hath denied the faith and is worse than an infidel." Black men in therapy is helping generational wounds. That's what the caption says. But again, we understand the therapy we're supposed to seek is therapists that look like us and that also understand our struggles. They tailor whatever they learned in the training to be a therapist, and they kind of craft it towards our unique struggles. I wanted to know, and I know Sister Shemaim is on the stage with me on Clubhouse, and maybe this is something we need to look into. Are there any licensed therapists in the Israelite community? And if so, we need to know who they are so that we can refer people to that. And if anybody within the sound of my voice listen to this class, know that you probably need some therapy, and we can direct you in their direction as well. Because this is very important. I don't want y'all to think I'm just sitting here teaching a class and by next week it's over. No, these problems are with us daily. It literally shapes what our community looks like. So as we watch in our community right now, where there's all these different scandals that's happening, if you really go down the rabbit hole, you're going to find some mental health issues someplace, a mental health crisis someplace, which is why these scandals are happening. So if there is somebody, I'm going to give it to you right now. So if there's somebody, we need to know who they are, and we need to, so that we can refer people to them, because this is very important. Go ahead, Zab, you got it.
No, I was gonna say the same thing. I was gonna share the person, and especially if they're in the truth. Also, I haven't seen that yet. An Israelite or somebody's in the truth who's a mental health professional. So that would be fire. You know what I mean? So you understand brothers and sisters on their level. So that would be fire. If somebody is, please let us know. We'll definitely share that person info or whatever, because that's needed.
And if you're somebody that I don't think we have a lot of, I don't know who's listening, but if it's somebody that's looking for a career field, you may be in school and college, whatever like that, you're trying to find a career field. Maybe therapy is a place to go as an Israelite so that you can offer this to our community, because it's someplace that we're lacking. So it's definitely someplace that you probably can make a good living, because the Israelite community is, we're not the biggest community, but it's a lot of people. So that means that there's a lot of problems, there's a lot of trauma, there's a lot of all that stuff. We need professionals in that area. So don't go to school for business administration and criminal justice. I'm not knocking those, but that's oversaturated. If you're in this truth and you're going to school, maybe this is just a suggestion. It's not me telling you what to do. Maybe you want to go into a field that's lacking in our community, and you bring your specific skill set to our community to help us. And at the same time, you also be able to make a good living, because there's nobody else. You have no competition for what you do.
Exactly. Like a therapist. And you will reach across all boundaries, all camps, everything. Doesn't matter, because everybody goes through it. And some brothers, they say, well, the scriptures, and that's it, brother. That's all the counseling you need. But it goes to so many levels. I know you heard that already, right, priest?
Well, I'm gonna give you an example. The scriptures is not all you need. So I know my wife is listening. She'll know what I'm talking about. There was a brother a couple of years ago, a brother that was in the truth. He was in a particular camp. And the camp leader reached out to me because he was not able to help the brother. So he reached out to me. He was his own camp leader or whatever, but as many of the camp leaders do, they call me to ask me, as a senior brother that been around a lot longer, what should they do with a situation they didn't know what to do with. This particular brother that was in that camp, as a child, had been, what do they say now, SA'd by another man. He experienced SA at the hands of another man. He's in our community. He's in a camp. The camp leader did not know what to do. So they reached out to me. I don't have no experience with that. I could give you 50 scriptures. That's not going to help. Not really. Not really. So I had to fall back, and I talked to my wife about it, and she volunteered to go down and meet with the young brother and try to talk to him and help the brother the best way that she could, because I had to recognize as a leader, I'm not trained for that. And I think that's important too. I think a lot of times we replace counsel in this Israelite community for people that need therapy. I think as Israelite leaders, we need to be able to delineate the difference between people that need counsel and people that need therapy. There's no scripture I can give a brother that was violated by another man, and you're fighting that spirit and you're in this truth. There's no scriptures I can give you. I need to be real with myself first. And so I sent my wife down there as a woman that's compassionate, that's empathetic. Maybe you could deal with it, because I can't. I already knew I couldn't deal with it.
Word.
So that's the place.
What kind of counsel would you say to that? That's crazy.
I don't have no counsel. Exactly. So I understood that I understood the assignment. I don't have no counsel. I don't got no scriptures. Like, some brothers will feel as though they can read you 50 scriptures and you're gonna be better. There's some Israelite ladies that think like, I'm gonna give you come to counsel. I'm gonna give you counsel. You're gonna overcome the fact that another man held you down and violated you. No, that's not real. What are we talking about? That's not real. So ultimately, at the time, we didn't have anybody that could provide therapy. But I did feel as though a woman's touch might have been better than me, because I was going to go down there and get that man some scriptures. I didn't have no scriptures. So I told her, you go down there and you talk to him instead. As a female that's empathetic, that's compassionate, that's whatever. And maybe he might open up to you, because if he sees another male face, he's going to put on a strong front, as we brothers do. And I'm good. No, you're not good. That's why your elder called me. You're not good. No, you're not. So we're going to continue with the lesson. I'm saying that there's space and there's opportunity for people that are in college and school age trying to figure out what you can do for a career. There's room in our community for therapists, because there's a lots of mental health issues in our community that's not being addressed, and people are not being honest. But right now, in our little small circle that we're having in class today, we're being honest. This is an area of opportunity. This is plaguing our community. Let's be real. But let's continue.
You know,
you
know what's on the horizon too, priest? For all the people who want to do mental health or go to school and be a therapist, that's needed, because you know what's coming up. You know what's the problem? AI. Because our children now, the little ones coming up, they are looking at AI as a companion. I'm seeing this in Esau's community, but don't think it's not going to bubble over to ours, right? Where people, little young children, young adults, unaliving themselves because they talk to some damn chatbot, or they talk to AI and it told them to do that. I don't know if you ever heard that, priest.
Of course, I've heard that.
So now, what happens when it bubbles over to our children? That's why they need a therapist. They need therapy. They need help, because AI is just it's demonic to me personally. It's a fault. It's a beast system. So you trying to a young child don't know no better, spilling their emotions to a goddamn algorithm chatbot, and it's saying, "Oh yeah, you should do this and you should do that." That's crazy. So that's another reason as if we ain't got enough issues already. But that's another reason why a therapist is needed in our community too, not only for the men but also for the children too.
Therapist, from what I'm watching, they're creating AI to replace women, because now that, you know what I'm saying, the standards that women have for men and everything, they're creating AI to be companions to men. Like, okay, men that can't get women, men that are incels that can't get women, they're creating AI to be that compassionate, loving ear that some men are not getting from actual women. Like, it's AI is our downfall. I want y'all to know that. You know what I'm saying? So, and remember what I said earlier, we laughed at white people for many years when they were the main ones that were killing themselves, and it becomes us. So to Elazar's point, we can laugh at AI. Of course, the first generation of people that are affected by AI and so forth, looking for companionship and advice is going to be Esau. But eventually, if the pattern holds still, it's going to be us. So we got to talk about it from now. Let's listen to David Banner.
Asked my dad, I was like, Dad, are you happy?
No.
He was like, no, not really.
I want to go back on that, because this is what I was talking about earlier. This is a man. 70%, the divorce rate in America is about 50%, give or take. A little over, maybe a little under, like 50%. 70% of those divorces are initiated by women. Women are the main ones that will initiate divorce because they're not happy. But what a lot of sisters don't understand in the world, I ain't talking about our righteous Israelite sisters, men are unhappy. If you're unhappy, the man is unhappy too. But a man will stay there and be unhappy to keep his family together, to keep his children happy, whatever. So he'll stay there. That's the difference. He'll sacrifice his happiness, which affects his mental health, to keep the family together. Because he knows his children statistically do better if he's there. So his mental health almost doesn't matter. That's why you can't, I'm saying this to men and women, you can't listen to a man when he's always telling you I'm good, because he's not always good. He's not. Just listen. A man will say that, but most times the man is telling you he's good is not really good. He's just good because he knows what he has to do. His duty, his God-given duty as a man, as a husband, as a father, trumps how he feels. So he's going to tell you he's good. He's good in terms of, I'm going to do what God said to do, even if mentally I'm not good. Just listen.
Asked my dad, I was like, Dad, are you happy? He was like, no, not really. He said, but the lights on, you're fed, your mama not screaming and hollering. He said, I'm at peace. So I started learning that as far as the guilt, I go to my therapist, I sit down, talk on the couch. And therapy. You know, you have to read. And a lot of the stuff that we learned, and we have to admit this, a lot of the stuff, especially Black people, that's disconnected from that history, from that true spirituality, what we naturally were as human beings on this earth, we're still trying to relearn. And some of the stuff that we learned is lies, and they're wrong. That's why I was telling you, I'm so proud of you saying some of the stuff that you're saying, bro. It's bold, and it's breaking all of that muck that we have on us. Most of that trauma was passed down from our parents and from older people who didn't know better. They gave us the best that they possibly could have, but that don't mean that it's right. Yeah. That doesn't mean that it's right.
So a lot of times a man or men in therapy actually help, if they're getting good therapy, they help heal generational wounds. It's not one of the first things you have to acknowledge is that the older generations, they taught us, but everything they taught us is not right. Like in older generations, a man's mental health was almost treated as though just man up. And that's it. It's just man. It doesn't matter what you're going through. What you're going through is not important. It just doesn't matter. And that has yielded what is yielded in our community now. That's wrong. So we have to relearn that.
Ask my dad.
We're, because of technology, alone in a world full of people. So you guys are looking at the image on the screen. For those of y'all that are here, if you're on Clubhouse, come over to YouTube. You're missing out. It's a bunch of people in that room, ain't it? But at the same time, everybody's alone because everybody's in their phone. Nobody's together. You can be alone in a world full of people. Nobody's here anymore. That's social engineering for real.
Phones really destroyed everybody. Look around you for a second. Nobody's even really here anymore. You could be sitting in a room full of people and still be alone. Everybody's trapped on their screen in a whole other world. Not talking, not communicating, not even living. Living through other people, looking at their screens. This is what the world's come to. We used to at least be able to sit in a room, communicate, build a connection. Can't even do that anymore.
There's no connections anymore with people, and that all contributes to men's mental health. Who do you talk to? Everybody's just trapped in their phone. Right? Let's move on.
Phone.
This is kind of, although I didn't do the whole father thing, I do have a couple of slides in here about it. This is what Elder Zahab was talking about earlier. This is a mental load that is not often talked about. As a man, what is it like to co-parent? What is it like to have a child that you are in the house with the child? You see a child every single day. We're not talking about the deadbeats. Let me say it again. We are not talking about the deadbeats. We're talking about the present fathers, the fathers that want to be fathers, the fathers that love their children. But maybe you and the mother, for whatever reason, don't get along, and so y'all separate. There's a mental load of going from seeing your children every day to seeing your children only on weekends or only every other weekend. There's a mental load that goes with that nobody talks about.
One of the hardest things to deal with as a man is co-parenting, because it's a major mental breakdown that you're going to have going from seeing your kids every day and being in their life every single day to you just not being around them anymore, or not as much, I should say. But that's what it's going to feel like, though. Imagine going from having your babies with you every day to only having them on weekends or on your off days, or like just borrowed time for, you know what I'm saying? Like that shit, it don't hit the same. My kids literally just left me right now, and I'm fucked up over that shit. That shit is, it's like my whole world is just different now. Like I want y'all to be here next to me, so I can be complaining about y'all not listening. I want to be here to have them vibes with y'all. Like I want to do that, but it's like, and don't even get me started where these kids is like these kids just be on steroids when they growing, because one minute I seen you wasn't talking, now you're speaking a second language. My son is 5 years old. He leave me for a week. Next thing I know, he's 16. I know I'm checking right now, my bad, but the way I was raised, I came from a 2-parent household, so it's like the last thing I ever thought I would be doing is raising my kids from some sort of distance.
It's like society teaches you that all men are just deadbeats. That's not with the family, and it's not true. Sometimes the man is a responsible father, and because the relationship didn't work out, the other parent is bitter, and they use the child as a weapon. That's a conversation nobody wants to have. Nobody wants to have that conversation. The narrative just is painted that brothers just don't want to take care of their kids. There's a lot of brothers that want to take care of their kids and they can't. The court system is an impediment. The other parent is an impediment. And that takes a mental health load on a lot of men. A lot of men. I can honestly be transparent with y'all that happened to me. It's a mental load. And who do you talk to about it? Because society says that all men are just deadbeats. That's it. And it's not true. I can't explain to somebody what it is to go from being around your child every day to seeing them on weekends. It's no words for it. It's just, it's crazy. So that's what Zahab was talking about, the whole thing about Father's Day coming around. Those are conversations people don't want to have. They don't want to have. They want to have the conversation about the brothers that don't take care of the kids. Of course, we could have that conversation every day, all day. But what about the men that do want to be a father and they can't? The court says you can see them only on weekends. You can see them every other week. What about those brothers? What are they going through? Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Some brothers give up, man.
And some brothers give up.
They give up and they wait. If the Lord bless them with life, and later on in time the children grow up, then the son see the dad, and the son is like, why you wasn't there? Why you gave up? And mad. And then when they get older, the father could be like, sit down, let me talk to you. But sometimes it doesn't end like a movie, right? It don't end like one of them movies or whatnot where it all works out in the end. No, sometimes it doesn't. What if the father passes away? Then the child is like, damn, he wasn't there and he just didn't know. Now he's broken, and then the cycle starts. Yeah, man, it's crazy, Priest.
It's crazy. But again, the things that break men down are not really prioritized, right? And then some men, like this brother, will make a video and just talk about it, but he has, I'm not a big fan of TikTok or telling all your business, but I do try to understand that sometimes the reason why people do make TikTok videos, I try to look at it to both sides, is because they have nobody to talk to. So they're praying that when they make a video, there's somebody out there that can relate to what they're saying. That is their therapy. He didn't tear down whoever his co-parent is. He didn't tear her down. He didn't say nothing bad about her. He just had to get this off because there's a lot of men that can, a lot of good fathers that can relate to what he's saying. Like, I was with my children for the first 5 years. I was there I saw them every single day. And now I see them twice a month. That's devastating to a man. Who do you go to talk about that? Anyway, let's move on. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 25, verse 28. It says, he that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. The danger is lacking self-control over your anger leaves you completely unprotected against temptation, manipulation, and self-destruction. A lot of men, their default emotion is anger. We always talk about the woman is emotional, which she is. Women are more emotional than men. That's true. That's how God made y'all. It's not a flaw. But for men, sometimes when they do actually appeal to their emotions, because men have emotions too, the default emotion is usually anger, which is bad for him and bad for everybody around him. Unfortunately. And the danger in that is that when somebody's angry, sometimes they lose self-control. And you wind up destroying yourself once you lose self-control.
Most men feel like being a man means that they're exempt from being human.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. That's a major problem with us. Because you know why? Our community don't expect for us to be human. It's like we're supposed to be some superhuman species. Because that's why we won't show emotion. I've said it before. What's our default emotion? Anger. You're confused, you get angry. You're hurt, you get angry. You get, I mean, most of the stuff that's on the negative side of the spectrum, you play it out through anger. That's the one emotion that seems like that's acceptable for us.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think
we're not taught growing up. I hate to say this, but this is gonna sound bad, but you see like the white families, not all of them, but some of them, and you see them, and they're all like, "Oh, it's okay, John boy." You know, dad's talking, mom's talking, and they're like teaching them that it's okay to like have emotions. You know what I'm saying? But we're taught. Like, I had a whooping, you done beat my ass, and you telling me to shut up and stop crying. So now I'm sitting on the sofa like this, trying to hold the cry back. But you just beat my ass, and my feelings are hurt. Because I got the whooping, even though I deserved it. Right? But I'm a kid, and I'm trying to, so don't be weak. Don't cry. Wipe your tears. Be a little soldier. Roll the shoulders back.
Now I'm going to really come at you.
So now you're taught like, okay, so now you start trying to be vulnerable, and then some chicks be like, oh, you this old bitch, something like that.
So that's what I was going to get at.
Like,
so
wait a minute, I gotta be a bitch because I tried to show you some emotion.
Do you feel like Black women are more susceptible to kick you when you're down?
Yes.
And that's not, I want our sisters to understand, that's not an indictment on all of you, but social media and, basically social media is the main culprit of that, has pushed that. Like, if a man shows emotion, I can go to TikTok right now and just type into the thing that women say they get turned off when a man shows emotion. I can go to TikTok and bring up, this class could have been 5 hours. And it's our women. When a man shows any type of emotion, whatever, they say they get turned off. So he has to be superhuman. It's not possible. So men end up in a crisis where now we're 53% at a rise in us unaliving ourselves because it's just like there's no hope. And some of these brothers, unfortunately, come into the community and bring this trauma with them and inflict that on y'all. Because if they're going through this in the world, this is being brought in our community too. It's exactly why what's going on in our community is going on. It's exactly why. This is Sirach chapter 40, verses 4-5. It says, "From him that weareth purple and a crown, and unto him that is clothed with a distracted linen." So that's from the king. The one that weareth purple and weareth the crown, that's the king. And unto him that is clothed with a distracted rag, that's the poor person. Wrath and envy and trouble and unquietness and fear of death and anger and strife. And in the time of the rest upon his bed, his sleep doth change his knowledge. So it doesn't matter whether you're rich or poor. All men go through the same range of emotions. It's just different things actually trigger that. What's the lesson? The dread of losing what you have or failing to maintain the status that you have brings unquietness and ruins a man's peace. Sometimes it causes him not to sleep. When a man is accustomed to living a certain lifestyle, especially when he has a family, has a wife, he has children, and then something comes in to interrupt that, he might be laid off or whatever it is. He might get hurt on a job, he can't work, they're going on disability, whatever it is, that causes a man to lose sleep. If you're a king and you have a kingdom and another king is threatening to come and destroy your kingdom, that causes a king to lose sleep. It doesn't matter as a man. Men are fearful too. Just a lot of times there's no outlet to release it. If you release it to other men, they will perceive you as weak. If you release it to a woman, she'll perceive you as weak, or in some cases, it'll turn her off because you are her source of strength. You're not supposed to be weak ever. And she looks at you like a superhero. And that's not to knock women. That's just what it is, though. Sometimes she admires you so much, you're never supposed to be weak. You're never supposed to be down. You're never supposed to have a hard time. You're never supposed to be sad. She's not bad for feeling that way. That's just how she admires you that much. But you are human at the end of the day, whether she acknowledges it or not. And when you hit a hard space, sometimes you lose her with that. So it's tough. Not so much for us in the truth. I think our sisters in the truth as Israelites, they'll stick with us. But in the world, not so much. There's a perfect example that we're watching right now for those of y'all that are watching the news, and that's LeVar Ball. If you follow basketball, you know who LeVar Ball is, right? He has 3 sons. 2 of his 3 sons are playing the NBA. They came from nothing. He established that family and made them rich, came out with the big baller brand and was pushing them and was predicting his sons were going to play in the NBA when they were in high school. And nobody knew who the Ball brothers were. And 2 out of his 3 sons play in the NBA. They're multimillionaires. He created generational wealth. And his wife came down and fell sick a few years ago. And he stayed with her and nursed her back to health. Stayed with her. And now the tables have turned. Now that same wife that he nursed back to health and gave her the world is divorcing him because he's sick now. They just amputated one of his legs. He just got an amputation from one of his legs. And he was rewarded with his wife saying she's leaving. The wife he nursed back to health is leaving him because he's going through a health problem right now. That's what the world gives you as a man. That's what it gives you. I'm not talking about you sisters in the truth. So nobody should be offended. I'm talking about in the world. That wouldn't cause a mental health crisis for somebody. If we find out tomorrow LeVar Ball is going through a mental health crisis, we wouldn't understand. You literally nursed your wife back to health when she was about to die. And now you're going through a health crisis. She said, I want a divorce. Let's watch the video.
There are times when I'm like burdened, emotionally burdened, when God is revealing and showing to me what men go through, experience the loneliness, the fear, right? Like I know that sometimes men don't want to say that they're afraid or they feel rejected, but okay, if it's not fear, then I would say terror and shock.
Yes.
I cannot even, I don't want to talk about it too much because I might end up crying, but that is how it feels. Knowing that men sometimes feel terrified when they have they recognize, if I don't make this work right now, there is no one to save me.
He didn't make it work. He lost his leg. His wife said, I'm leaving. I don't care that you nurse me back to health. I'm leaving. That's terrifying.
When a woman says that, she can get government assistance. She can go to her sister's house and not get judged. She can crash out of somebody's place for years and it be understood. But when a man says he has nobody, he has no one. It is different. And from that, I also began to learn more about what a healthy man looks like. So this is why I'm successfully single. Because now that I understand what a healthy man looks like, it's almost like a catch-22. It's like I know too much now, right? So I know a little bit too much. And one of the things that I will say that I've put out there, and I will say, of all the things that's on my list, and I have 5 things on my list that I want from my man, one of them that is crucial is that he must have a mentor.
So unfortunately for the sister, if y'all caught that, this is a sister that understands what men are going through, and she's able to recognize what men are going through, and she recognizes that most men are in a mental health crisis. She can't find a husband. The majority of women will marry a guy thinking he's good because they can't recognize the signs and find out that that man is in crisis after you're already married. She's in a different situation. She actually studies men. She's empathetic towards men. So she recognizes that most men are in crisis. Most men that she's interested in are in crisis. And I'm telling you, sisters that are, especially for those of y'all that are within the sound of my voice that are interested in getting married in the future, most men and most men in the Israelite community are in crisis, whether they tell you or not. And that's not to tell you not to get married. It's to tell you that you need to be prepared to roll your sleeves up and go to work and help him through that. And be understanding and empathetic because most men are in crisis. Watch this. Most women are in crisis too. Y'all in crisis too. Just wait till y'all mental health month. Well, we'll talk about it. Y'all in crisis too. It's about coming together, especially in this truth, applying the scriptures, being able to recognize the warning signs and working on them. We have an advantage in this truth because we have the Bible. So we can recognize certain things that people in the world cannot. Let's continue. This brother got bars, man. This is Proverbs 29, verse 25. It says, the fear of man bringeth a snare, but whoso putteth his trust in the Lord shall be safe. What's the lesson? Being overly consumed. Now, we talked about this all class. Being overly consumed by what others think about you or the fear of failing in the eyes of society is a trap that locks you in place. Recognize, and of course, you have problems. Everybody else has problems. Just don't let those problems consume you. Don't let those problems become a snare. With that being said, this brother's spitting bars. Let me turn the volume all the way up so we can get these bars. Let's go.
So do black men need therapy? Word. They say black men need therapy. I'm really asking if you care for me. We say we don't need help, but would you actually be there for me? We'd rather keep it inside as a secret. Y'all wouldn't peep it half the time. We be hiding our demons. See, when you young, the streets say if you cry, it's a weakness. Now, if you see it long enough, then you liable to teach it. That trauma disguised as a puzzle to hide all the pieces. We've been through a lot. You ever told someone you good, even when you not? Father was vacant, mama was raped in, trials, tribulations, wild situations, child molestation, afraid if you open a loud conversation, someone gonna judge you, they undermine you, no one gonna love you. That girl you crushing on won't wanna touch you. They think you soft, they just don't know. Instead of seeking real help, you play it solo. See, if I try to hug my mans, they gon' say no homo. Yeah, if I try to hug my mans, they gon' say no homo.
I ain't got nothing to add to that, because that sums up the whole class. And that's somebody that's not the truth, just crying out and telling you exactly what it is. Social media is the envy amplifier. Now, I'm not going to front, this guy looks a little sweet. He looked like he got a little sugar in his tank, but he's not wrong. I included him because he's not wrong. Social media is the envy amplifier. Literally the catalyst that causes a lot of problems, that makes people feel like they don't measure up, which is why there's a 53% spike in our community, because our people are addicted to social media.
That's all I'm saying is notice the power of the unfollow, the block, the mute to improve your mental health. What we don't talk about is social media unlocks and explodes comparison in the most insane way. It's the envy amplifier. Has us wanting things we didn't even know we wanted. Has us feeling behind in areas we didn't even know we should be ahead. But it's also the greatest source for growth, learning, connection, creativity, collaboration. Only when we curate this place.
So the idea is to curate your social media right so you can use it for the points that they made at the end. Social media is not supposed to be used to measure your life against somebody else. That's not what it's supposed to be used for, but that's what everybody uses it for. Now, I want to say this because I've been talking about this in class as well earlier. And this is mainly to the men, but the sisters can use this as well. It says, check on your peoples, especially the strong ones. And I want to talk about that. A lot of brothers, and I've had this conversation with Zahab before he's known. You know, you talk to a brother, every time you see the brother, I know you struggling, brother. You see, hey, brother, what's going on? I'm good. I'm good. No, you're not. You're lying. Brothers, if you see a brother and every time you see him, everything is always great as peaches and cream, sunshine and rainbows, check on that brother more than you check on everybody else, because he's lying.
Exactly.
He's lying. He's lying. You know what I'm saying? Check on your peoples, especially the strong ones, because the strong ones are some of the weakest ones. They're just not, they feel as though it's strength not to tell you that they're going through something because they got pride. That's what it is. The strong ones are some of the weakest ones.
And some of y'all probably don't even know, let alone care, but it is Men's Mental Health Month. People always ask men, how are you doing? And most of us always answer, I'm good. The truth is, a lot of men are carrying stress, anxiety, depression, financial pressure, family problems, and some personal struggles that they don't even talk about. We're taught to be strong, to tough it out, and to handle everything on our own. But being strong doesn't mean staying silent. A lot of men suffer in silence because they're too afraid of being judged, looking weak, or becoming a burden to others. The reality is, talking about your problems isn't weakness, it's strength. Asking for help isn't giving up, it's actually taking control. If you're struggling right now, reach out to someone, a friend, a family member, a mentor, a professional, or shoot, even me. You can say it in the comments if you feel comfortable. If you're checking on your friend, don't just ask if you're good. Ask again, because sometimes the strongest people are fighting the hardest battles. Men's mental health matters. Your life matters, and you don't have to carry everything alone. Check on your brothers, and sometimes a simple conversation can save a life.
Sometimes the strongest people are fighting the hardest battles. They just don't show it to you. They break down in their car, like the brother did earlier. They do all that. So by the time they come around you, they're laughing and joking. You thinking this person is living a great life. Everything's great. No, it's not. They just don't. They know that they have to be strong because that's what you expect of them. So check on your peoples. The stronger that somebody say they are, is the more you should check on them. And you might even annoy them. That's okay. Just keep asking. Hey, brother, I know you always tell me you're good. I'm going to keep asking you anyway because I know you ain't got to say this part. Just tell them I'm going to keep asking you. In your mind, you say I'm going to keep asking you because I know you're lying. Because you're lying. This is Sirach chapter 7, verses 34 and 35. Spiritual and mental issues are a sickness. When people are going through spiritual and mental issues, that's a sickness. It says, fail not to be with them that weep. We understand that. And mourn with them that mourn. And be not slow to visit the sick, for that shall make thee to be beloved. The caption says, check on your strongest friends. So this is confirmation, just like the first video. 2 witnesses. People that act like they're the strongest, check on them first, because they're not.
Y'all don't do anything this weekend, do me a favor. Check on your strong friends. Check on the ones that always throwing positivity in the air online and social media. They always look happy online and offline when you see them. They always got positive vibes. They always feel like they up spirit. You know what I'm saying? Check on those ones that feel like they always got it held down. Check on them. Because right now, everybody's going through a storm. Their storm might be heavy and you don't even know about it. Check on your strong friends. Your strong friends need love too. Love and they check on you, you need to check on them. So if you don't do anything this weekend, do that at least. Check on your strong friends. They need it.
So it's funny. You gonna say something out there?
Nah, that's a fact because you know what? If you, like you said, Bruce, you keep asking a brother and you keep saying he's good. Eventually he's gonna break down. You can see cracks in the arms.
Something's wrong with your phone up there.
Can you hear me?
It's a little muffled.
Muffled? Oh, slack.
Maybe something's wrong with my speaker or something. Try again.
Can y'all hear me? If y'all can hear me, put a 1 in the chat.
That's better. That right there is better.
Better? All right.
Yeah.
No, what I was saying is that sincerity, right? Like you said, sincerely check on the brother or sister, whatever the case may be. Eventually, you'll see a crack in their facade or their armor because they cannot keep it up 24/7. They do a good job. But eventually, it's gonna break down. And like you said, they need it the most, man. Because it's a lot of energy and putting up that facade, that image. Everything is good. That within itself is hard work. You know, so you add that on top of what the problem is, and that's a lethal combination. I just want to bring that out.
All right. Yeah, it was a little muffled, whatever like that, but that's okay. We're gonna keep it moving. I don't know if that was on your end or my end. It's all good. But what I will say is that to this point, for those of y'all that have been here the whole class, this resonated a lot with me because, as I said earlier, I had to understand this as a child. I had to put on a strong front for my mother to not ever be offended that I wasn't doing good when I didn't have my father around. I had to put on a front for her. I would tell her I'm great, it's okay. I played sports as a kid. I played baseball. So I would go to the baseball games, with my team. And everybody else, their father was there to root them on when he was playing them. I didn't have a father to root me on. You know what I'm saying? So I felt the way. My mother came to some of the games, but it wasn't the same. And it's not a knock to you sisters. That's why God gave people 2 parents. There's certain nurturing things that we get from a mother that we can never get from our father. And there's certain things a child gets from their father they can't get from the mother. And you should be okay with that. I'm okay with whatever I can't give a child as a man that the mother does. I'm not jealous of that. I'm not envious of that. I understand that there's a certain nurturing that a woman can give a child I can never give her. I don't give a damn. You grab a baby and the baby's crying or whatever like that, and then you hug the baby, you rub it back. It doesn't feel the same coming from me as it does from mommy. Just don't. I'm okay with that. So can you understand that there's certain things that a father will do later? His presence will mean later for a child that you can't cover. Is this? Why does that offend people? It shouldn't, right? So I understood that as a child that I couldn't tell my mother that. I had to put on a strong front for her. I never told her to the day she passed away. I never told her that I felt the way that my father didn't live to to see me do good when I played sports, wasn't there at the games and stuff like that. I had to pretend. And that's a burden that men go through. And I don't think enough people really understand or appreciate that. And it's not a knock on the women. It's not. Right? Check on your strong friends. That's just good advice.
Hey, Shalom. Is my mic better now?
It's better now. Yes, much better. Yeah, all praises.
Okay,
all right, let's go to 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. It says, "For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of mind." So bravery is nothing more than a scared person pushing past fear. You do realize that brave people are scared too. I hope everybody understands that. You can find the bravest person that you want to find. They're scared too. Before a UFC match or a boxing match, whatever boxer it is, your favorite boxer, they're scared too because anything could happen. You know what I'm saying? One little small miscalculation and you get knocked out, right? So you're scared, but you're able to push past that fear. So everybody has that. It's no different. You're no different than anybody else. So as a man, it's okay to feel fear, but as a man, you still have to push past that regardless.
Men are not allowed to have full access to their feelings. Can I give y'all a great example of that? We in the house, me and my wife, she's pregnant, and my, at the time, 4-year-old daughter sleeping in her room. It's 3 a.m. And we get woo, 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 woo. The alarm goes off in my house. So I pop up. I could go ahead and you know, I got 30 in a mag. Boom, hit that charger hand. Get it, I'm ready. I go downstairs and check on the rooms. My heart beating crazy. I check the living room, good. I check the kitchen, we good. Walk into the basement, man. My finger trembling a little bit. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I go to the basement, I pick around the last corner. The wind opened the door to the garage, messed up the sensor. Closed the joint, locked it. Sat down for a little bit, let my nerves chill. I said, wait a minute, I just realized something. Fear is a human emotion. Fear is a natural human emotion. If I put you in a hot room, you want to sweat. If I put you in a cold room, you want to shiver. If I put you in a room that's anxiety producing, you want to have anxiety. If I put you in some scary shit, you're going to be scared. 2 of us were scared that night. Only 1 of us had permission to feel that. My wife laid in bed. She was in bed. I couldn't be afraid to the point of inaction. Because if all of us were murdered in that house, and Fox 5 came in, first thing people would have said, why he didn't protect his family? Why he allowed those things to happen to him? What happens to a human being who's not allowed to feel the full scope of their emotions? How does that work? How do you function? How do you grow up from 1 to 5 being the joy and apple of your mama's eye, and as soon as you become a teenager, the issues that she may have with other men, you represent that now. She could grow to resent you just a little bit. Or maybe your father wasn't there. Or maybe he wasn't hugged enough as a child and told that he was handsome, and told that he was smart, and told that he was capable. But the world around him told him he wasn't shit, so he absorbed that. That became who he was and how he felt about himself. That pours into you too. Nobody in this room is who they are by chance.
I don't feel a need to comment on that. I think that's self-explanatory.
Men,
because it is. As a man, you have to recognize your fears and just overcome them.
As men, as fathers, I think the one thing that we can do more of is admit that we have fears, admit that we can be afraid of things. And whether that's afraid of failing or afraid of even trying something, or just having fears of not knowing all the answers, or not being able to be there for our families at all times, could ultimately help us kill the fear that we're experiencing. One of the tools that I've recently equipped for myself is that whenever I feel something, I tend to not ignore it, because the faster I can recognize the feeling that I'm experiencing, the faster I can work through it and have it pass.
It's good advice. I have nothing to comment on that either, right? Guarding your mind is essential. This is Proverbs 4:23. It says, keep thy heart, which is your mind, with all diligence, for out of it are all the issues of life. So this is that sister that was earlier, and the caption says, and it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. It says, "Black man or Israelite man, when was the last time you felt safe enough to fall apart?" For most men, they never feel safe enough to fall apart. Even in their own company by themselves, they don't allow themselves that moment. They feel it, but they just don't allow it. And that's where this mental health crisis comes from. And it manifests itself in many other ways. It manifests itself in our community today. Because that programming is still ingrained in all of us.
Call me a pick me. I don't give a fuck. But I'm going to do day 5 and day 6 at the same time for Men's Mental Health Awareness Month because I missed yesterday, taking some time for myself. But again, we're going to be honest about something today because I want to be honest about some things. I don't think that Black men are afraid to cry. I think a lot of Black men are afraid of what happens after they cry because who's going to hold them? Who's going to comfort them? Who's going to listen to them without judging them? Who's going to make them feel safe enough to fall apart? Men need to open up. Like people always say, men need to be more vulnerable. Men need to talk about their feelings. But it's like, what happens when they do? What happens when the strong man finally breaks? Like, what happens when the provider is struggling?
The strong man breaks, he's called sassy, he's called gay, he's called everything else. And the provider, he can't provide in the world, they just find somebody else that can. That's what happens. I'm not talking about you sisters in the truth, but that's what's happening.
What happens when the protector needs protection? What happens when the man everybody depends on can no longer carry the weight? Because I think a lot of Black men learned a long time ago that the world only loves them when they're useful. The world only tends to love them when they're providing. The world tends to love them only when they're protecting, when they're performing, when they're being strong. But in the very moment that they become human, the very moment that they become human, the moment they become vulnerable, the moment they need support, the moment that they're transparent, everything changes. And that's a lonely ass place to be. Imagine carrying years of trauma, years of stress, years of pressure, years of heartbreak. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. Years of responsibilities, years of pain, years of expectations, years of being let down, years of not being accepted for who you are and feeling like there's nobody you can safely put it down with. Not because you don't want help, but because you don't trust that anybody will stay once they see how heavy it really is. And then, I think that's why so many Black men suffer in silence. Not because they're weak, not because they don't care, not because they don't have emotions, but because they've spent their entire lives being taught that their pain is theirs to carry alone. So today, I want to ask Black men something. When was the last time you felt safe enough to completely let your guard down? Not strong, not tough, not any of these things, you know what I'm saying? Not okay, just human. So let's talk about it. Call?
Yep. This is Isaiah 26, verse 3. It says, "Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee." This idea of a man expecting, because I hear it a lot now on social media, that a man is looking for a woman to come in and be his peace. No. As a man, you have to create a peaceful space for yourself. You have to recognize what your peace is. And you have to make it a point not to allow anybody that you let into your life to come in from the outside and disturb it. That's the difference. If you are a healed brother, you're not one of these brothers that's going through mental crisis, and you've created a space of peace and clarity for yourself, you have to protect that at all costs and not allow anybody to come in and disturb that.
They're saying that more men are now dating for peace than beauty in 2025.
So before, a man was always, because the scriptures are there, the man loves beauty more than anything else. That's number one. But it's so bad out here now. The mental health crisis is so bad. A lot of men have been like, you know what? I don't care about beauty anymore. The person I let in my life, are they going to be peaceful? I'm already fighting all these demons. The person that's in my life, are they in my life, and are they going to continue the peace that I've created for myself? The world has changed. It's shifted.
They're saying that more men are now dating for peace than beauty in 2025. 95% of men say they're prioritizing their mental health, and it's reshaping how they date. The $90 billion men's self-care industry isn't just about fitness and skincare anymore. It's about choosing partners who bring peace, not pressure. Today's men.
So if you're a woman that's not married, you seek to be married, you got to examine yourself, because more and more now men are requiring that you come in and be peaceful, not combative, not argumentative, not toxic, because you are also suffering from mental health issues that you have unresolved as well, because we all have them. But even if you have those, just like he has them, you're coming in and you guys are creating a peaceful environment for you both. And you guys are helping each other through whatever your traumas are. And you guys are also getting therapy or whatever is needed to fix that. If you're not doing anything, it's going to become harder and harder for you to find a partner. The longer that we're in this captivity, that's the way it's trending.
Aren't just chasing beauty. They're valuing emotional stability, mutual support, and peace of mind.
Bro, peace of wells, because you ain't gonna find it here.
I mean, listen, and that, and I'm a strong believer in the fact that, a woman doesn't bring a man peace. A man creates his peace, and the most a woman can do is not disturb it when she comes into his life. I think there's a lot of emotional instability out there. I think there's a lot of insecurity out there.
So I feel like as a guy, if I see a girl with a little bit of potential, I don't have a problem with going in and putting in the work. And I feel like women these days, if she see a guy and he has a little bit of potential, she's not willing to like, yo, now I could work with that. Like I could help make him even better than what he is. I think last week a woman told me, like, yo, I don't want to help a man become better. He should just be better when he come to me.
So then you're gonna be single for the rest of your life, because most men have mental trauma. They do. They do. So you're gonna be single. That's why there's so many sisters that single is crying. There's no perfectly formed created men. It's very few. Very few. It's rare. Everybody got trauma. Everybody got baggage. Go ahead, Zal.
Including the sister too, because sometimes sisters come with their baggage and they expect the man to deal with it. Just show up, ding dong, here I am. She got baggage, he got baggage and all that, but he got to work out his and hers and everybody else and the children too and fix everything. Like, we are supposed to be supermen, and we can't break down. We got to be a perfect running car. Can't break down, no broken parts, nothing. Got to run 24/7 at a moment's notice. That's part of it too, man. So be introspect both sides, you know what I mean? Sisters and brothers. Go ahead, Priest.
It's not sustainable. If you're looking for a perfect man, he doesnn't exist. As you guys have been here for this class, especially those that have been here from the beginning, it's not sustainable. It doesn't exist. So you got to reframe the way that you think. If you see a man has some potential and you feel like you as a woman have the tools to come in, as long as you see that he first of all, he has to obviously recognize that he has certain issues. I'm not asking you to go into a situation blind. He has to recognize that he might have certain issues, certain places he falls short. Maybe certain places his mental health could improve, but he acknowledges it, because the first step to healing something is acknowledging it, right? He acknowledges it, and you can see he's actively working on it. And you could go in because there's nothing crazy, and you could also be of assistance to helping him. In this society right now in 2026, that's the best you're going to do. That's literally the best you're going to do. And it's the same for the men. If you see a sister, the sister is going to come, whatever woman you choose, doesn't matter how she looks, whatever, she's going to have some baggage. She's going to have gone through some stuff. But you recognize that she acknowledges that. We'll get to that when we do the women's class, but it's the same thing. She acknowledges it. She recognizes it. She wants to fix it, and you feel like you could help her. That's the best you're going to do. This idea of waiting for somebody to come along and be perfect is going to keep you single. It just is. Nobody's perfect. Let's move on.
Listen.
Peace for men sometimes, and I preach this to women all the time. Some sisters get it, and some sisters don't. But I'm especially speaking to women that are in relationships. Peace sometimes for a man is simply just leaving him alone. And you get in your emotions and feel like as though he doesn't like you, doesn't love you, wants to be left alone. No, it's just men and women are different. The most successful relationships that people can have is to recognize the differences between men and women, men to recognize there's certain differences between you and a woman. You as a man, your emotions are a little more secondary for you. Women's emotions are a little bit more primary for them. If you want to have a wife, you have to deal with her understanding that sometimes she's going to act and filter things through her emotions. If you can't understand that, you should stay single as a man for the rest of your life. Because that's just how women are built. It doesn't make them bad or less than. That's how they're built. You want a wife, you must make peace with that. Sisters, you must make peace when your husband wants to be alone. He doesn't want to be bothered. You know what I'm saying? He steals away, whatever. And not him saying he don't love you. That's how sometimes some men deal with their situation. They had a long day at work, whatever the situation might be. He might just go amongst himself for a little while and get it together. That's nothing. Sometimes that's how a man regulates his mental health, his emotions, by sometimes just being like, you know what, leave me alone for a while. It's not an insult, sisters. You want him to understand your emotions? Okay, cool. So I'm telling you, you got to understand how he operates. Him telling you he wants to be by himself is not an insult. Doesn't mean he doesn't love you. None of that.
That answers a lot, especially if a brother come home from work and he's just sitting in the car for a minute. He's just trying to get himself together. You know what I mean?
We got a class for that for our academy. We got a class in our women's academy, because the women's academy is coming. I ain't want to go right there. Women's academy is coming, and I went into all of that, man. You sisters that your husband comes home and he sits in the car outside for a little while. You got to look in yourself. You got to look at yourself. But we ain't gonna do that today.
Exactly. The brother, that don't mean he don't love you. You don't know what happened at work. You know, you just don't know. You don't know.
And you come in. He come in the house. You're not gonna give him no room. So he takes his own room and sits in the car outside before he comes in, because he knows that if he comes inside and be like, I need a few minutes, you're going to get offended. Now it's going to be an argument when it has nothing to do with you. You made it about you. And this is to be the problem why a lot of relationships and marriages don't last, because people don't really take time to get out of their mind and actually look at things for how it is and really look at the opposite sex with empathy. I want to understand what it is that a woman is going through. Okay, she's emotional. Right now, she's feeling away. She's filtering everything she's doing through how she's feeling. I, as a man, am not supposed to weaponize that and make her bad for that. I'm supposed to understand that and try to navigate around that. Oh my goodness, my husband came home and he went in his room, he closed the door, he hates me. No, sister. You're supposed to be empathetic and understand when a man comes in after a long day, if he goes and sits, that's what men do. If you love men, you'll understand it. It's not that hard.
Peace sometimes is unfortunately like not talking. Like sometimes just being quiet.
That's peace, bro.
Yeah, like I get it. You want to talk here and there, but sometimes for sure, I just want to sit down and just dead ass. I don't want no chores when I come home, bro.
Sometimes quietness is a good day for me.
Yeah,
bro. Just chilling, bro, not hearing shit, bro.
We don't even be mad. It's just like, at the female, it's just like, imagine all this stuff we hearing all day, y'all thoughts, these people, somebody done piss you off at work. Just like, I do want to spend time with you and love on you, but just give me a good hour to just,
that's it, just a little time, bro.
To catch up with myself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for you sisters that are married, that's clear. I ain't got to give y'all no commentary. If there's somebody that's not married that aspires to be a wife, if that offends you, hey, my advice is don't get married. You're hearing it from every man, not just one man, not just the man you're marrying. You're hearing it from every man. Every man is the same when it comes to that. If that offends you, you might not want to get married yet until you work that out. Because your husband's going to be like that too. And what it saves you from is that man is regulating his mental health. He's getting his thoughts together so that whatever happened out in the world, whatever beat him down outside, he doesn't take it out on you. That's what he's supposed to do. He doesn't want to take it out on you. Men regulate their things differently. Learn to understand it.
Peace.
Now, warning, the following may be offensive to some. I don't care. For you men, I'm not trying to give y'all no crutches. Y'all walking around on crutches. I don't want y'all to mistake peace for avoidance. In other words, I got y'all sisters back. I got y'all back. A man will weaponize peace where now all of a sudden you can't tell him anything. He uses peace to avoid situations that at some point need to be dealt with. There's a place for peace, but there's also avoidance where you try to weaponize peace where something that needs to be dealt with can't be dealt with because you're trying to say she doesn't give you peace. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay, fellas, let's talk about it. Not everything we call peace is actually peace. Sometimes it's just avoidance dressed up as maturity. I've talked to a lot of men who say, I'm protecting my peace. And what they really mean is, I don't want to deal with this. So instead of addressing hard conversations, we go quiet. Instead of setting
So you might be a man dealing with a mental health crisis, and your wife is trying to talk you through something, whatever like that. And you just tell her, just give me peace. No, there's a point where something needs to be done. You're avoiding something. There's something you're avoiding that needs to be addressed. And as your wife, as your helpmeet, she sees it. And who better to bring it to you than your wife? And you try to use peace as a weapon. Everything in life is a balance, y'all. If you want your mental health to get better, sometimes there's certain things you're going to have to confront within yourself as a man. And if your wife loves you enough to come and tell you that right there, as a man, there's something behind that. I don't know what it is. Maybe you even haven't even articulated it to me, but whatever it is, you need to address it.
Boundaries, we disappear. Instead of facing conflict, we detach, and then we call it peace. But bro, peace doesn't require you to abandon yourself. Here's the difference. Peace brings clarity, honesty, and alignment. You feel settled. You feel more grounded. You feel whole, even when things are hard. Avoidance brings temporary relief, but long-term anxiety. Things stay unresolved. Intentional.
So whatever your traumas are, whatever's going on, you just continue to not address it. That's not good. So as a man, that's why I said earlier, you get that period of time where you come home and you just kind of just avoid things for a certain amount of time to kind of decompress. Or if there's any type of problem you're going on in life, you confront the problem. You don't necessarily just continue to beat yourself up about the problem and think about it all the time and ruminate it all the time, but you're not avoiding it either. You understand what I'm saying? There's a balance. You have problems in your life, whether it's financial, whatever the situation might be. You know they exist. You ruminate on them, but at some time you let them go. That's you giving yourself peace. That's different from you just avoiding problems all the time. All the time. No, you don't do that. There's a happy medium between all those things. Y'all get the idea. I'm going to move on.
Okay.
Another thing we need to do as men in order to improve our mental health is to learn to let ish go. You sisters can benefit from this as well. This is good advice for you too. Sometimes you have to learn to let ish go because you are not Superman and you're not Superwoman. Learn when you've done what you can do and let ish go. And one of the hardest places for us, especially for those that may be parents, to let stuff go is sometimes you have to let ish go with your children. Because that'd be one of the places that we practice insanity. You have children that ain't doing what they're supposed to do, and you give them 100 chances and they disappoint you 100 times. I'm not saying give up on them, but at some point you have to be realistic with yourself. You have to sometimes let stuff go. You're not Superman and you're not Superwoman at all. Sometimes you try to help a family member, not even just your children. Give them 100 chances and they disappoint you 100 times. Whomever it may be. At some point, you let things go. You're not Superman. You're not Superwoman. That will help your mental health a lot. Even myself and Zahab, as leaders of this camp, there's certain things after a while we just simply say to ourselves, you know what? We tried 100 times to fix that. It's not being fixed. We have to just kind of just make peace with the facts that that's never going to be fixed. So we got to move on from it. That's how it goes.
In honor of Men's Mental Health Month, learn how to let that shit go. All right, learn how to let that anger go. Learn how to let that stress go. Ask for help. Learn how to let that woman go. Learn how to let those responsibilities at the job go. Once you clock out, leave work at work. A lot of us have been conditioned to hold the weight of the world on our shoulders, and that's something that we should not have adopted at all. Let that shit go. Learn the phrase, that's not my problem. Fuck it. Fuck this shit. I don't give a fuck. I'm telling you, it will save your life. Learn how to let yourself off the hook. Some things aren't your fault and they shouldn't be your concern. Learn how to let people fight for themselves. Learn how to let people advocate for themselves. Take that S off your chest and get down off of that cross. You ain't Jesus. How much you do and how much stress you take on for somebody else does not define how much of a man you are. You do not have to be the hero. Okay? You can't save everybody. You can't save people from themselves. You can't save people from themselves. Let that shit go.
Simple as that. We ain't got to beat a dead horse. That's exactly what it means. We're almost done, y'all. We were a little over 3 hours. We're almost done. This slide is called Laughter and the Liver. Laughter and the liver. Did you guys notice? This is Proverbs 15, verse 13. It says, a merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance, but by sorrow of the heart the spirit is broken. There's another scripture that says, a merry heart doeth good like a medicine. Like a laughter is literally medicine. So I'm going to show y'all via Dick Gregory, and I looked into this myself, the correlation between your liver, which is one of your most important organs, and laughing. Listen.
The liver is an organ and a gland, and it weighs 3 pounds. It's the only thing in your body that's an organ and a gland. Now, what affects it? Anger, bitterness, laughter is the best medicine. We've heard that all our life, right? Yeah. When you look at your commercial, when you coming on, when you laughing, if you didn't do nothing but just sit in the mirror for 4 hours, once a week, and did that, healing starts. Healing starts. You see, when I laugh, I use certain muscles, and those muscles pinch certain nerves, and those nerves trigger an oil that's dropped into my body that keeps me younger. When I frown and tighten up, I use certain muscles, and those muscles pinch certain nerves that drops a gas into my body that will destroy the cell structure.
So on a scientific level, and I looked it up when he said, I didn't even know the liver was an organ in the gland. I looked it up and I was looking up what he was saying. He's correct. He's correct. We just thought that was a wise proverb that Solomon said and it sounded good. No, it literally gets into the science of your liver is affected by whether you're upset, you're angry, you have anxiety, whether you're laughing and all that, that affects you. It affects your health. Believe it or not.
The lip.
Proverbs 27, verse 17, it says, iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. Men need to learn how to be better friends to each other.
I think one of the main reasons men struggle with mental health is because we never learned how to actually be friends to one another. I remember a few years back, I had a conversation that changed how I thought about this completely. I asked someone level, why do women handle stress and mental health better than men overall? And he said one word, which was friendship. Kind of broke it down like this. So imagine you and your boy, you work out together 3 times a week, right? And every session, you spot each other, you push each other, you talk the entire time. And the whole time, you think you know what's going on with him. And then one day, he just stopped showing up. No explanation, and you assume that he just got busy. Then months later, you find out that he was going through something serious the entire time, and never once he felt that he can bring it to the gym. That's literally us men in a nutshell. That's exactly how we tend to move, because we come together to distract, to decompress, and we need that, but we never come together to actually say, yo, I'm really struggling right now and I need my people. We carry everything alone and we call it strength and then wonder why we're breaking down in silence. Real friendship between men, it really has to go deeper. It has to include the uncomfortable conversations, the ones where you look at your boy in the eye and you ask, yo, how you really doing? Really check on your boys, and it's not just to hang, but to actually know.
And I don't really have much commentary on that except to say I know that what he said is 100% facts. Like men will be in the gym pushing each other, laughing at each other, breaking PRs on the bench press, all that stuff, and won't even talk to each other and be struggling and won't even talk to each other because they look at it as a shame, right? They look at it as a shame. And we as men, we have to change that because we've been conditioned in society that that's what men's friendship should look like. We just have to prove to each other that we're strong. That's it. And then you wind up with a mental health crisis that we have right now. And then you wind up with a 53% spike in our community of us unaliving ourselves. And it all makes sense. It all makes sense.
I think
I'm gonna skip that. So we're coming to the end of the class, but I want to show you guys something. The greatest of us go through this. This is King David, Psalms 38, verse 6. It says, I am troubled. I am bowed down greatly. I go mourning all the day long. So David struggled with ups and downs. I don't want to say mental health issues, but just he struggled with things in his mind. David is one of the greatest amongst us. Elijah, 1 Kings 19, verse 4. But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness and came and sat down under a juniper tree, and he requested for himself that he might die. So he asked the Most High, kill me. That's how stressed he was. And said, it is enough. Now, O Lord, take away my life, for I am not better than my fathers. The difference between what Elijah did and what a lot of our men are doing now, he asked the Lord to take him out. A lot of our men are doing it themselves. So this feeling of just overwhelming pressure is not new for men. This idea of men not expressing it is not new because we see it in the scriptures. They express it. I don't know why the world thinks that men don't go through this. This is Job 3, verse 11. It says, why died I not from the womb? So Job wanted to know why he didn't die in his mother's womb or right after. Like, why did he have to live to go through what he went through? Why did I not give up the ghost when I came out of the belly? This is Jonah 4, verse 8. It says, and it came to pass when the sun did rise that God, Yahweh, prepared a vehement east wind, and the sun beat upon the head of Jonah, that he fainted. And he wished in himself to die and said, it is better for me to die than to live. So again, I know I'm repeating myself over and over. The wish or the thought amongst men when they receive pressure to take themselves out is not new. What's new is that the men are actually now doing it. Does everybody understand? It's not the pressure is not new. The thought is not new. The newness is that now, unlike this generation of the past, the men are now actually doing it because they've completely lost hope. This is Jeremiah chapter 20, verse 14. It says, cursed be the day wherein I was born. So we see the pattern. Let not the day wherein my mother bare me be blessed. So Jeremiah said, the day that my mother bore me shouldn't even be blessed. Like, why was I even born? It's a curse day. This is the greatest amongst us, Yahweh Shai. Then saith he unto them, my soul is exceeding sorrowful unto death. Tarry ye here and watch with me. So we can see that even the greatest amongst us, man, went through the same things, man. This is Galatians chapter 6, verses 1 and 2. It says, brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such an one in the spirit of meekness. That's our job. We have to restore brothers when they feel like this. We cannot pretend as though we don't know that these things exist, that brothers feel like that. It's not weakness. It's none of that. Check on your strongest brothers. And if that brother is honest with you and he's going through something, there's nothing wrong with him. He's not weak. None of that stuff. We got to try to restore that brother, whatever way we can. And one of the best things to do is just be a listening ear. I know sometimes as men, we're solution-based. Somebody tells you something is going wrong, you want to run right to the solution of how to fix it. That's all of us. That's our nature. That's how we were built. But I'm telling you, brothers, sometimes before you come with the solution, sometimes the person just needs to let it out. Sometimes that person, even more than the solution, they just need you to listen. That's it. Just listen. Let them get it all out. Sometimes they're going to cry. Sometimes they're going to raise their voice. They're going to be angry with it. Just sit there and you just listen. And then when they got it all out, then you offer the solution. Then you restore that brother. It says, ye which are spiritual, restore such an one in the spirit of meekness, considering thyself. Because guess what? As a man, you're going to have your time where you're going to feel the same way. Lest thou also be tempted. Bear one another's burdens. So I'm strong for Zahab today. When he's going through something, I'm a listening ear. I'm empathetic. I'm letting him get it all out. He's on the phone. He's cursing and screaming. He's not cursing at me. He's not cursing at me. Hold on one second, y'all. Let me bring him back in. He's not cursing at me, right? Sometimes he's just venting because he's going through something. So I'm considering that brother, because my time is coming where I'm going to be on the phone. I'm going to be cursing and yelling and screaming. I'm going through something. And I want him just to listen. I want him to understand I'm not yelling and cursing because I'm talking to you. I'm not doing that to you even though I'm cursing. I'm just venting. That's it. And all of us should have somebody like that. Your sisters should have somebody like that. Your brother should have somebody like that. We all should have somebody like that. It says, bear ye one another's burdens and so fulfill the law of Christ, because Yahweh Shah took all of our burdens upon himself. So it is the least you can do as a brother. And we hear how the people in the world are talking, how the brothers in the world are talking. That should not be named amongst us as Israelites. In the world, it's taboo for a man to talk to another man and let him know how he's feeling. To let that man know he's sad, he's upset, he's depressed, he has anxiety, it's taboo. That is not supposed to be the case in the Israelite community. And because it is, we're seeing the fruits of that with some of the chaos that we're seeing playing out in our community today. And at the root of a lot of that stuff are mental health crises that brothers are going through that wind up bringing shame on our community. And these are conversations that I hope continue. I opened the door, but I would hope that other brothers teach classes on this. And from your perspective, from your angle, for those of y'all that listen, that's even in other camps, that, you know what I'm saying, y'all teach classes on the y'all channels, because some of y'all audience is not over here. We need to talk about these things. These things are so important and they plague us. All right. So, man, we went over 3 hours and 18 minutes. I'm going to end it right there. I pray that today's class was edifying to you, brothers and sisters. If the class was edifying, y'all let me know in the chat. You know, I really felt like this was really, really important. So, you know, that's pretty much it. Zahab, if you want to say anything, I'll give you the floor. The floor is yours.
Yeah, this class is timely, priest. It was needed. And I mean, what do you add, bro? Scriptures I was going to bring out, you already brought out. I mean, there's nothing more to add. So it is what it is. You just got to, like they say, let it sizzle in your spirit, right? Beautiful class, King.
All praise to the Most High. I appreciate y'all. I've been over here struggling with this computer, man. I'm on my laptop is acting crazy. My desktop is acting crazy, but that just may mean that the enemy didn't want this class to come out, but I felt like it was needed anyway. So I fought through it. All praise to the Most High. I don't really have too many announcements right now. We're in the middle of June going into July. The Feast of Tabernacles is coming up, so we will be making the flyers were made this week for our camp, so we will be posting those soon. And I did promise that the academy was coming back in the summer, but it's probably going to come back in the fall. I've been working really hard on that, so you guys are going to see a lot of great things from that in the future. So just look out for that. Let me go ahead and put the banner back up real quick before we go. We appreciate everybody that's been donating to the camp. For those that have not donated to the camp and want to, the information is going across the screen. Just go to our website, and the different ways to donate to the camp is there. We appreciate everybody that does. It definitely helps us 100%.
If I could, priest,
yeah.
Brothers and sisters, when y'all share this video, right, or replay it, leave a comment on YouTube, not in the chat right now. Leave a comment on YouTube because it helps. The more interaction we have, is good for the algorithm, and the video goes out more. So replay the video and leave a comment in YouTube, in the chat, not in the chat, but on YouTube. Leave a comment, whether you agree, disagree, or whatever the case may be.
On all praises. And for those that are interested in the future, you watch us, you're interested in joining the body and helping us, because the Bible teaches us to pray that the Most High sends laborers. So if the Most High puts on your spirit to actually come in and be active and help do the work, the email at the bottom of the screen, joinLOI149@gmail.com. Reach out to us, and we'll tell you exactly how to do that. It's your brother, Priest Daniela, representing Lines of Israel, along with Ellis Saab. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Thank y'all for listening. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channels, please subscribe. And if you felt anything I said today can be helpful to anybody that you know that may be struggling through these things, send them the video, and hopefully it can help them. Love y'all. I'll see y'all again next week if it be the Most High's will. With that, I say, shalom.
Spacious air, reflecting the way of life under the Florida sky. Even the lobbies funnel in the great outdoors.
Chosen. I was set apart for God's use. Chosen. I was set apart for God's use. Formed in His image. Chosen. They say the chain of Shaitan is not that strong. They say his time is running out, he ain't got that long. They say murder, murder, kill, this is not that song. Said I won't amount to nothing, they got that wrong. Cause I was set apart and I was shown the light. And if I get the kingdom, I'll be clothed in white. 1/3 will be delivered and the rest were blinded. Their fate is set in stone, what you ain't read the fine print? Christ is gonna give a crown to us. In the end we'll have the nations bowing down to us, with their faces to the ground to us. It's the truth, as crazy as it sounds to us. Jacob forever rules, and we're his precious jewels. Showed us love and patience, put us above the nations. And that's the gospel, thank God for choosing me. Bad news for you, it's really good news for me. I was set apart for God's use. Chosen. I was set apart for God's use. Formed in His image. Let me tell you why. We have a different kind of shine, a different kind of mind. The rhythm's not the same, we're on a different type of time. With a different kind of pace, a different kind of race. The season's not the same, we have a different kind of taste. A different kind of salt, we are so not them. Got my sword and my shield, man, I'm so locked in. And when I came to serve Yahweh, put my whole heart in. So I can't sit calm, I'm no Martin. And that's a reach, y'all, chosen to teach y'all. Every Sabbath you can find us in the streets, y'all. Dear Ya Allah, my nickname is Priest, y'all. In the gym, they say that I'm a beast, y'all. Set apart, the nations all hate me. Set a trap, they lying in wait for me. Chris Paul, they don't wanna play with me. But if you love me, I'm asking that you pray with me. Cause I was set apart for God's use. Chosen. I was set apart for God's use. Formed in His image. Chosen. And thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God have chosen thee to be a special people, chosen above all people that's on the face of the earth. That's Deuteronomy 7:6. That's you, black and Latin man. Chosen. That's you, black and Latin woman. Yeah. And we the chosen. Chosen.